calling all low to mid-stakes players. It's time to light the torch. From March 16th to 25th, 888poker presents the Championship Games, an exciting series where you can qualify for free every single day. And don't miss the $100,000 main event with a buy-in of only $25. Register today and take your place at the top of the podium. 888poker, made to play.
Hey guys, I'm Ian Simpson, and today I am super excited to announce that 888poker will now have a HUD or heads-up display built into our software. Whenever you're seated at the table, you'll be able to hover over your opponent's avatar or your own and get some vital statistics about them. You'll be able to see their VPIP, their PFR, their 3-bet, and where they're from. So how do we put this information to work? Let's say you've opened and the button 3-bets. Well, you can hover over your opponent's avatar and see their 3-bet statistic. And here we can see that it's only 4. Now that's actually really small. You can go ahead and safely fold your marginal hand, knowing that they're only 3-betting a very narrow range and they likely have a much better hand than yours. In this scenario, our opponent has a PFR, short for pre-flop raise, of just 10%. That means they're playing a very narrow selection of hands. That means we have to be a little more cautious when dealing with them, as we are likely facing a very strong hand. Jumping over to this spot on the final table of a tournament, we can hover our mouse over our opponent's avatar and see their tournament winnings. We can see this player only has $114 worth of winnings, whereas this player has $140,000 worth of tournament winnings. Now this doesn't tell the whole picture, but it is indicative of how much experience our opponents have. And finally, in this scenario, we can see our opponent has a VPIP, which stands for voluntarily put in pot, of 40%. Now, that number is really high. Our opponent is playing far too many hands. So when we raise pre-flop, they call and we get this flop, we can bluff a lot more liberally. That's because our opponent is going to have far too many weaker hands that are just going to have to automatically fold to our bet. As you can see, having access to this information can be a real game changer. It can be a big help when making the decisions you're going to have to make at the tables. Give it a try for yourself. Let me know what you think. Tell me which stack you think is the most helpful. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our great content. Thanks for watching, and good luck at the tables.
If you've ever struggled to calculate your equity or pot odds in a hand, you'll likely need to brush up on your poker math skills. That doesn't mean you need to be a genius or make complex calculations, but learning some fundamental calculations will give you an edge over your opponents. I'm Aaron Baroni, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 poker math principles you should know. Rule of 4 and 2. One of the most important poker math calculations is knowing how to figure out your equity in a hand. This is where the rule of 4 and 2 comes into play. All you need to do is calculate how many outs you have, then multiply your outs by 4 on the flop or 2 on the turn. The number you get is the approximate percentage of making your hand. So in this example, if we flop a flush draw, we would multiply our 9 outs by 4, giving us roughly 36% chance of making our hand. If the turn is a blank, our percentage drops to roughly 18%. This simple calculation alone can give you an edge by helping you avoid spots where you are a huge dog. Pot odds. Many players don't understand pot odds and fall into the trap of wanting to be right at too high of a frequency. Let's break it down with an example. Imagine the pot is 100 and your opponent bets 100. It costs you 100 to call, making the total pot 200. In this situation, you're getting 2-to-1 odds. That means you only need to be right 1 out of 3 times, or 33% of the time, to break even. But here's the exciting part. If you're right even half the time, you're not just breaking even, you're making profit. Understanding pot odds can significantly improve your decision-making and profitability at the table. Understanding blockers. A blocker refers to having a card in your hand that makes it statistically less likely for your opponent to have a strong hand. For example, having a hand like pocket tens on Queen Jack 9-5-3 board would drastically reduce the number of combinations of straights our opponent could have, because we're holding 2 tens, and the only way they can make a straight is by holding one of the final 2 tens in the deck along with a king or an 8. Holding 1 10 would decrease your opponent's potential straights by 25%, and holding 2 would make that number 50%. With our opponent having 50% less straights, we then expect our full equity to go up considerably, and therefore could look to apply pressure. Be aware, our opponent could still have other strong hands, such as a set or 2 pair. Bankroll management. People ask me all the time about how many buy-ins are needed to be sure you won't need to reload. The exact answer to that question is fairly complex, not only because it relies on your edge, but because tournament poker can have so much variance, even over large samples. Let's look at an example of a 1,000-player tournament with a standard payout structure, $10 ABI, 10% ROI simulated for a 5,000 game sample. In that example, half the field would have been fine with a 2,000 bankroll or 200 buy-ins. But that means half the field was not. 15% needed a $5,000 bankroll or 500 buy-ins, 5% needed 7,700 bankroll, 770 buy-ins, and 1% needed 11,000 bankroll or 1,100 buy-ins. 22% of the field was down money, despite having a 10% ROI. So when some people tell you 200 buy-ins is enough, it might be, but it might not. The safest way is to be properly rolled for the games you play. Continue to work on your game. As the greater your edge, the less likely you'll be subjected to the more volatile swings, better ensuring you won't have to redeposit. But if that does happen, you can take solace in the fact that many of the best players in the world have suffered the same fate. Calculating your win rate and ROI. Outside of playing, math is important in helping you understand if you're a winning player or not. Determining your win rate requires knowing 3 things. How many games did you play? What's your average buy-in? And how much did you profit? Let's break it down with an example. Imagine you're a player with a $10 average buy-in and you've won 5,000 over 1,000 games. To find your win rate, divide your profit by the number of games. 5,000 divided by 1,000 equals 5. That means you made $5 per game. Now to find out your return on investment, or ROI, divide that profit per game by your average buy-in. $5 divided by 10 equals 50%. So in this case, you would have a 50% ROI. Understanding your win rate and ROI is crucial for evaluating your long-term success. As you can see, learning and applying these simple math calculations can not only increase your edge, but also help you get a better understanding of your overall game. What other poker math calculations do you want to learn? Let me know in the comments below.
Do you get frustrated trying to play against super aggressive players? What if I told you there are ways to exploit them? I'm Vivian Saliba, and in this video I'm going to share 5 tips to help you to play against overly aggressive players.
All players returning for day 3, please take your seats. Tournament will begin in 2 minutes.
Come here. Come here. A rose between 2 thorns. Glasgow.
Yeah.
888. First time we've been up here.
Yeah, it's been very fun. I've been here for 25-50s a few times, always well supported, but it's been a good week this week. Very, very good.
Good numbers.
Very good numbers across the week on the whole, yeah.
We got to a final table last night.
Yeah.
We were a little bit surprised, were you?
Yeah, I didn't expect us to be. I thought we would end the day with about 14-15 by the numbers, but yeah, always a treat to start the final table anyway. Well
done to the floor, well done to you guys. Been a successful event.
Yeah, it's been a good one. We're stretched across a few areas, so that's a bit more of us than usual. But yeah, it's been a good week. Been a really good week. Yeah,
one more day. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Mike Stevenson, head of floor, and these players here. These are the mugs that are going to be sat here for us, and we are ready. I tell you what, best looking final table I have ever seen. Let me tell you, this is the best looking final table I have ever seen. We are just about to start. Seat number 1 is going to be Zavignev. He's going to be sat there, sat in seat number 2. Michael Broder sat in seat number 2. Local legend Mr. Dean Lyle is just preparing downstairs. He's getting himself ready. He's going to be sat in seat number 3. GK is going to be in 4. In 5 is Jack Moore, who a lot of people said yesterday that played super poker during the week. So looking forward to him on the final table. Lord Willie Hawkey sat in seat number 6, and he can now tell the missus, now he's on the live stream, that he's definitely playing poker on a Sunday. Here's Willie. In seat number 7, chip leader is Dan Johnson. 8 is Martin Byrne, and in seat number 9, Harry Katanach. This is going to be a great final table. Really looking forward to this. Everybody has now taken the seats. Mr. Lyle's just turned up with a great big smile on his face. He will do this. He will eventually, when he takes his trophy down, Dean Lyle will smile. Honestly, he will. He will. But we are really looking forward to this. We are just about to start the main event, 888 Poker Live in Glasgow. 9 to a winner. Nice to have a wander round and nice to get them on the in the seat draw. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Glasgow. Oh, look at that funny face up there. Welcome to Blackpool. I know at Blackpool. I've been everywhere this week.
How are you there and how are you here?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But I can, if there's only one person in the building can do it. In fact, hang on a minute. That's not me. That is not me. Absolutely not me. It's not me. It's, no, it is not me. I Danu. It is not me. It isn't. But we are back. Dan Johnson, 3.4 million. It must have been a lookalike, one of them doppelganger things. That's what it was.
Well, I've got Scottish tower today.
You've got Scottish?
Yeah. English towers out there, Scottish towers in here with me, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
McTower.
McTower. It sounds like a decent meal at McDonald's, that.
A McTower, please. Dan Johnson is chip leader. 86 big blinds. Harry Katanach second in chips. Both down at the bottom. 12 bigs for Jack. 18 for Willie. 18 for GK. They'll be at it. They will be at it for sure. But we've got 30 minutes of this level and we are now underway. Enjoy the day, enjoy the final day in Glasgow. We are ready. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Nice chunk of money up top to play for. You're going to kick us off. First hand under the gun opens the King Jack here. 30 bigs to start the hand. One of these like middling stacks that potentially doesn't need to get involved too much, but starting with open here and Martin in the cut-off at 9 seems like always calling this one. Going to be a pretty strong range from Dean here. I probably wouldn't even assign King Jack off being in there, but I'd better to open this as Dean than to open like pocket 8s, pocket 7s, just a little bit of removal. And Michael never defending the ace deuce off freeway, gets out of there.
Go on, Harry, lad, says Ian Farrell. Young player on a heater. There's some good play this week. It's been really enjoyable.
I've loved the place, so this year the new stops we're going to, just every single one, been fantastic.
They have indeed.
Dean just white flag wave straight away. Martin peels our gun open off of 30 when we are supposed to be fairly tight, so his range is going to be pretty strong as well. All this king queen, ace queen that doesn't elect a free bet, queen jack queen 10 suited type stuff. So 10 of clubs turn. Going to go for delayers Ding, 85 into 260, third pot. Martin with the 9s is going to take one off here against third. Getting 4 to 1 on the call, so feels like maybe ahead of some of this ace high stuff, but wants to delay. And now it's Dean. Potentially might have to bluff this tower. We're not going to get to the river worse than King Jack high on this run outright. We're at the bottom of our range. But not only that, like Martin's range isn't going to contain offsuit hands. Like he's not going to peel, or at least he shouldn't at a final. King Queen off, like King Jack off, like the offsuit stuff with a bare club. So other than like Ace Queen, Ace Jack that doesn't elect a free bet, it's very difficult for Martin to get to the river here with a flush. I guess he can have stuff like 7s, 9s with a club. They are some that would make sense. But when you look at the unpaired hands, when Dean opens off of this 30 big blind stack, he fairly snug. So
Just afternoon town and Jay missed stream last night. I was out watching the Danny Down movie. And so what did we get up to yesterday? We missed a decent game, Clyde versus Bonnet Rig Rose. I know we did. And I was a bit gutted because
We missed a good game. Clyde versus Bonnie Rig. Come on.
No, Clyde won 3-1. And Martin Rennie scored.
Oh, that Martin Rene. What a player.
Well, he scored and he had an assist. It was like bang on fire yesterday. I was gutted I missed it, to be fair. He was on fire. They won 3-1, did Clyde.
To be fair, it would have been a good laugh.
Oh. Just a quick blip. Is the stream down? Uh-oh. We'll definitely check it. Hopefully he's back.
Walk for Dean. 2-2. 100% of hands today so far.
It went off for 1 second. We're back. We are back live. Phew! An internet outage, but it's back. It went off for a second, a quick internet outage, and now we are back. So all is good.
King Queen suited for Jack under the gun off of 12 would make this 2 bigs, wouldn't be jamming. Does come with 2 bigs. About 10-15 minutes, guys, we are going to get someone in. Got a good friend of theirs on the final table, and them themselves have had a lot of success on the poker tables. Irish Open champion, GUKPT champion. We're going to get David Docherty in for an hour or so.
Nice one.
He'll be rooting for his mate Dan in the 7 seat.
Yeah. Has he done a bit of coaching with him, or is he just chatting?
I have no idea. Maybe just chatting. Maybe Dan's been doing what Hardcastle's been doing for years, copying other people's homework. You don't know, do you? You don't know.
I love it.
Oh, I slow rolled the chat there when I said Irish Open champion. They would have thought Ian Simpson was coming in for some comms.
Ian didn't win the Dragon.
He didn't win the Dragon.
No.
Is he not buying into day 2 though?
I don't know.
I saw him. He was signing in as I was signing in this morning. So yeah. I think he's here for a potential day 2 buy of the Dragon.
Good luck if you are.
The GK defends the ace deuce. Nice looking flop for Jack. Continues for 40. Shy of 20%. That could go quarter. Small is nice when we're at this depth on this board. And GK has this wheel draw and overcard to the king, so getting 6.5 to 1 tower. Can't see the ace deuce going anywhere here for GK. Just too good a price not to see a turn. Not really the board we want to be raising on either. When we got these gut shots of this shallow effective stack depth, we just want to check call them. We don't want to like go for the small raise, get jammed on, blasted off our equity. So nice one to just flat. How are we doing here, Needleman? Welcome to the stream. We are hoping for a good final.
We are indeed.
Be in the hand tower. Just going to size to get this over 2 streets, I guess, as Jack here. When we got top 2 pair. Yeah, 2 flushes out there, but I guess maybe we are going to have some jams for 120%. Like if we had like ace king black here, we'd probably just send for 120% when it becomes 2-tone. But I feel like when we got top 2 pair, one of these that might go for the over 2 streets of value here. keep some stuff in that may fold to just this 120% turn jam. But it looks like he is still going to take that avenue. And I don't mind it. Like I say, we are going to have a lot of combos for value that want to choose this size when the board becomes two-tone. But going to be end of hand. GK never doing anything with his wheel draw.
GK does get out of the way. We sold today. Did I hear you say you went to the Barras Tower? I did. I spent over 2 hours there. Loved it. Loved wandering around in them old, some of those stalls. Tell you about being back in 1985. Could buy 6 DVDs for £1. It was great. Coffee, £1. Tea, £1.
You could buy DVDs in 1985.
Yeah. For 1983, first one came out.
Really?
Right.
I thought it was like 90s time.
No.
Because I remember getting videos for my birthday when I was like 8 years old. I used to get videos.
Oh, behind the times, your mum and dad.
I'm not having DVDs come out in the 80s. I'm going to have to check this.
It was great.
1995 was the first DVD.
There you go.
So 10 years late, Tower.
Damn. Well, it was like wandering. It was like wandering round. It was like wandering round the market from 1995.
There you go. You do realise I got Google in front of me. Anything you say, I can double check.
I tell you what, I loved it. I thought it was a cracking place, and I hope when I come back again, I'll be doing it the same again. It was a great wander round. I loved it.
Oh, Dean's got a prime one here, Tower. Cutoff versus button, middling offsuit ace-X against a stack that we cover. Really nice free bet spot here, and he's going to find it. Very nice indeed. I didn't think Dean would be missing this one. Sizing very good as well. Just recognise here, guys, going north of 4 BBs. We scale down slightly at final tables and just accounting for Mike's stack size. Michael working with just north of 20 to start the hand. So as I always say, you don't want to go too big and potentially price yourself in the times that you're bluffing, and you want to choose the same size with your bluffs and with your value. That's going to be in the hand, and Dean has started phenomenally today.
Nice one, Dean Lyle. I did say at the beginning of the stream.
I know,
yesterday.
you don't have to keep mentioning it. Everyone
Just
knows.
saying.
You mentioned it yesterday about 10 times
Just
that you picked
saying.
Dean. Everyone knows now, Tower.
Okay. If you weren't listening yesterday,
I'll tell you what, Lion, make a command for Dean, please.
the Tower said.
Yeah, the Tower said yesterday at 1:30 p.m. We weren't even in then, to be fair. We were as late starters yesterday.
There were still 93 left though. I haven't been to the Barras in years. I loved it. I really did. Tea's £1, coffee's £1, hot chocolate £1.80. Just fabulous places. Down with the ace queen. We're going to raise from gun.
Yeah, funny enough, first look at Dan the entire week. He gets to the final table with the chip lead, and this is the first hand we are going to see him play. Pretty crazy stuff.
We've seen him on 5 vids of all.
Yeah, we've seen him on pans, but he's not been on the feature table all week yet, Tower.
Not at all.
This is the first hand he is playing on stream, and we are on the final.
And he's going to get to see 3 cards.
Yeah, this is one I'd probably...
GK.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, GK's got a jam. Dan will have to call it off. But just speaking about Dean's flat here, I think Dean's 6 is probably fold, theoretically, here, Tower. If Dean believes like there's no squeezing going on behind him and people are just playing honestly, maybe could get in. But when the chip leader opens gun, and now we're sitting pretty, I think, 3rd or 4th in chips, I don't think we want to be peeling these sort of small to middling pairs.
There's the first triangle of the tournament, of the final table.
So, does peel the 6s, but not too sure about this one. I feel like it may just be out of there, could be wrong. But either way, we are going to be running it here. Dan not going to be folding against the just shy of 14 big blind jam, especially against GK. Because this man, as we saw yesterday, and as we've seen over the years, he's got moves in the locker. When I first met him, I thought GK stood for go crazy, because he goes crazy a lot, and I would never be folding ace queen suited against him. Against some, potentially.
It's how he gets his chips.
But
love to watch him.
I feel like this is a man that's going to be capable of finding some lighter shoves, and here we go.
Love to watch OGK. But he and he's in front. Jacks against Ace Queen. How were the Jacks only 36%?
It means there's no Jacks in the deck and all the Aces and Queens are in the deck. I have to...
And all the diamonds?
Not necessarily all the diamonds, but I'm assuming all Aces and Queens are in the deck and both Jacks are dead. Well, there's an Ace.
Wow, and that.
Backdoor clubs is the only avenue. There you go. No Jacks left in the deck, so both in the muck. So GK, not to know that, but we know he's drawing to running clubs. Oh no.
There's one of them. Can he find it? Can he find a club on the river? No, he can't, unfortunately, for GK. Busting out early doors, Jack against Chip Leader.
Not much GK can do, but enjoyed watching him yesterday.
Yeah.
Just got to win them flips.
Well done, Dan. Dan Johnson, 105 bigs, Chip Leader, taking out the first player on the final table. GK busting out in 9th.
Yeah, the way with the dead outs it works how it's a bit different. Like you go back years ago, it didn't used to account for the dead outs, so there it would have been, Jacks actually would have been favourite, but it takes out all the cards dealt pre, so 18 cards pre, you've got, so you take 18 away from 52, which gives you 34, so now each out actually becomes 3%, rather than the normal 2.5% when you're not counting for all these dead cards.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But you go back in the old days, there used to be an all-in and call pre-flop. It would just take the 4 cards they could see, so now it would be 1 over 48, so now it's just over 2% per out. But when you account for these 18 dead cards, 18 minus 52 is 34, 34 divided by 100 is around 3%, so now each out is actually worth nearly a whole extra percent. So when you've got 6 outs, suddenly that becomes an extra 6%. If that makes sense, he's nodding his head.
Just about makes sense, all that maths.
I'm trying to explain how the percentages work on the
The percentage, all the percentages, all the dead cards, we now include it.
So after this hand, guys, you just missed your man double up as well, Dave. Oh, wow.
Whoa, 2 hands on the trot, Jacks again. This time he's got Ace King.
Blind on blind. Willie with Jacks, Dan with Ace King suited. This was always getting in at just shy of 16 effective. Can Dan win 2 flips in a row? I have a feeling Dave knows the result.
Willie Hawkey. Willie Hawkey with the Jacks. Ace King for Dan. And the King on the flop. He's flopped twice. Beautiful. Chip Leader. Gonna bust Jacks 2 hands running. Incredible. What a start for Dan Johnson. And he does.
Just backdoors into the nuts as well.
Lord Willie Hawkey busting out. We're not going to get to see the World Series bracelet. Look at the napper on that. Who's that? Robbie Bull.
Robbie Bull.
There's only one person can stand there and not.
So guys, on that note, we're going to get Dave in for an hour or so. We got just over an hour left of the session, so I'll let Tower go and have a break. Go next door, there's some nice cakes I told you about.
There is there?
Yeah.
Oh, shall I bring me own?
Yeah, bring your own.
Like you did. Like what you did.
You don't eat cakes in the morning.
I
You don't have a figure like that.
I don't eat
eating
cakes
in
at
the
all,
morning.
as you can see.
So we're going to get Tower out. We'll let him have half hour or so. We're going to get Dave in.
Good lad.
And here is David Doherty joining me in the booth. Not been the best week for you, but you got your lad there potentially.
It's been a great week for me. Like, he's going to win me a fortune.
Let's hope
You know, in my poker career, I haven't ran too well in buying pieces or swapping with people.
Yep.
Up until 2 weeks ago, or whenever it was, when Stato won the UK Open, I had a swap with him.
Nice.
That broke my record. So my previous biggest payout on a swap or a buying action was 5k. in my entire poker career. Stato got me 11.
Yeah.
And now if Daniel wins this, he's gonna break it again in the space of
potentially.
2 weeks. So.
Lovely. So hopefully he can continue running on. He's only played 2 hands today. Ace Queen suited, Ace King suited as the chip lead, but he's now got over the further chips in play.
Yeah, I approve of how he's played so far. Did see both hands. I think he played them really well.
What do you think about Dean's pill, 6s? That hand,
much did he peel off?
he peeled off of, I think, like 40 bigs. We're at 40 count, we? Yes, 1.6.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think for Dean particularly, like, he's going to be very competent post flop. He's going to, raid his chances even against Daniel, who I think is like, one of the stronger players on the final table.
Yeah,
as well.
I agree with that.
But I think Dean's comfortably the best player at the table. I think everyone would say that, and he's going to feel very confident. I think it's a dicey peel for some other people if they're inexperienced on final tables, but I think, it's justifiable for Dean, I think.
Because first glance, I thought may have been a little bit loose, but against chip leader, gun open, but...
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing in particular, you see it crop up a lot on final table ICM, or even just late stage ICM, is that pocket 6s tends to be the one that usually continues. Like, you sometimes fold 7s and continue.
Is that because we cooler the wheel?
Yeah, exactly,
cooler the wheel, makes sense. How often does the board come percentage-wise? 2, 3, 4, 5 though? It's got to be very small percentage, right?
It's very rare, but it also does give you that little bit of coverage, that little bit of protection. Like, if you can never have a 6 in your range and the opener can, then they can just bin you on that board, right? So. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but that's some of the logic behind it, I think. Apologies, by the way, if I cough a lot while I'm here. I'm still trying to get over
a rough night.
Cough, and it's not even that. I've had it since Coventry. It's just not gone away. But
so down here in the cut-off, any ace will qualify for him with this bigger chip lead.
That's a good fold from Harry.
I agree as well. I like these little folds, these small pocket pairs.
Yeah, when you're second in chips here, I mean, Daniel's got an obscene chip lead at the moment. So there's actually a lot more ICM pressure on someone like Harry or Dean than the rest of the field. Harry's in a very strong position to get top 3 right now.
Yep.
I don't think anyone other than Daniel can be thinking about the win, but like, you've got to protect your position in the field, right? You don't really want, especially with a hand like 3s, you don't want to play A out of position versus the chip leader, and you don't want to get coolered set under set or whatever for a lot of chips, right? So just getting out of the way seems pretty good there.
7-8 suited for Dean from Ghana. Won't be doing anything with this.
You see that? I do think that's one that people get wrong at times as well, right? That they're still open this 8-9 suited.
Yeah, of course. Yep. I tell the truth, like, when we come back post after lockdown, I was playing a lot of Omaha in lockdown. I come back, started playing a bit of Hold'em tournaments live, and I was making these mistakes as well. Like, when you get slightly deeper opening, like the 10-9 suited, the 8-9 suited, stuff that you'd open for chips, obviously, earlier in the tournament. But I've got to watch some sickos over the last 3 years since we come back after COVID, and obviously learning myself, watching the better players do their thing. And Harry finds a nice little free bet here.
I like this a lot. I think maybe the sizing is a shade too big with the short stacks behind, but it's a really nice combo selection, light position.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice find, but I agree with you, Dave, maybe like 220, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, the splitting here is still going to perform really well. Nice pick up.
Let's go. Dan Johnson. Obviously a better player than he is a dealer. He used to be a good dealer, Dan, to be fair. He used to be one of he used to deal the feature when we first come back.
I've actually got an interesting wee scenario that could happen today. I don't want to jinx anything. It's still early days, but when I first met Daniel, like him and Kyle were best mates when they were working on the tour, and they both finished early one night, and I busted the main or whatever. I was just lurking about. He asked if I wanted to go for a beer. I was like, yeah, sure, and got to know them that night and became good friends with him. Now Jack had already knew them as well, and you know, came into our group, and we all, you know, talked pretty regularly. You might have known that we went and visited Katie and Kyle when they
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
So the story is that after they became part of our group, Daniel actually, when Jack won GUKPT Leeds, Daniel actually dealt him the winning hand.
Oh, okay.
And when I won GUKPT Luton, Kyle dealt me the winning hand.
Oh, okay.
And what have we got today? Katie's dealing with me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So we could complete the triangle, right?
Yeah. That would be some simulation stuff, I'll be honest with you, if that happens. The chances of that for all your 3 big wins, like big trophies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
David Docherty is on the comms. Dan Johnson, who David is rooting for, who has got 5 million chips now. Approaching half the chips in play. He's got over 40% of the chips in play now. Like, how are you thinking about your strategy now, David? Like, lots of opens.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to pull him off the table and have a wee word in his ear, but he knows what he's doing. Like, he's got a ton of experience online playing final tables, so I think he'll know what to do in this spot. But yeah, I think it's a really good seat for him as well, actually, with the other 2 big stacks on his left, which is quite unusual to see normally. Yeah. But when he covers them so significantly, he can take a lot of open spots off of them and make it really expensive for them and dangerous for them to continue. So yeah, I think he'll get a lot of steals through if he goes for them. It's it's not insurmountable, his lead right now, but it's looking pretty strong already.
Lively quiz on Tuesday, David, if Daniel pulls this off. Can you do a quiz?
Yeah, we've that's Luke, right?
Yeah, that's Luke the dealer. Luke the dealer.
Yeah, we've been to tons of quiz nights.
I love a quiz night.
Yeah. We were I think Katie was talking about going to the Wombats with Jack, but we were taking in the pub quiz again. Yeah. Do you know Callum Hamilton, actually, the Scottish guy?
Is he?
He's a player.
I know Kai. Kai. Is it Kai?
Not Kai.
Not Kai. I know Kai Hamilton up here.
Callum, but he does some blogging.
No, I don't know him.
So he's a poker player anyway. And we went for I think it was just me, Daniel, and Kyle went for a quiz night one night. Just to a random bar in the West End of Glasgow. Yeah. And we walked in and there was another like Callum's there, another poker player. Just at random. Yeah. And it turned out to be his local. And then we got a question where the answer was it was like, I don't know how you phrase these questions, but it said 13S of a D of C. Or 4 I've fucked this up already. 4S in a D of C was the clue.
4S. It's not algebra, is it? No.
No.
It's not like an algebra equation.
You're filling in the missing words, basically.
Oh, okay.
And we get it wrong. 3 poker players. 4 suits and a deck of cards.
Oh. Okay.
We were getting the piss ripped out of us for that one.
To be fair, I'm always disappointed whenever you're watching a quiz show or something and a poker question comes up, because it's like the most easiest poker question ever. It's like in a game of poker, what hand is ranked higher? And it's like straight, royal flush, pair. You never get the difficult ones. Harry, under the gun, nice one to attempt to steal. King, Queen. Oh, raising into Dan's big blind though, even still.
Yeah, I think this makes the 7 spot quite interesting actually, because he is going to be disincentivised to open wide into excuse me, into Daniel's big blind, and the 7's having no blockers is a little bit sad really. This is quite strange. I don't know what he's going for here.
This is
I think I would just play jam or fold here. It's not as though there's any stacks behind us that we're worried about. If you know what I mean, like maybe you could 3-bet, and if it goes 4-bet jam call or whatever, then you can get away. But with those 2 stacks involved, I don't think
that was interesting. That was an interesting 3-bet from Jack. Works though. Let's get it through.
Yeah, I think we can just jam if we want to continue. I do think it's probably close between jamming and folding, but like if he wants to continue, I think jamming's better because you're giving a chip leader the potential to maybe peel there, and you don't want to go post flop with 7s when you've got an SPR of 1 on the final table, right? So did get the king queen off out there though, so worked fine.
Queen Jack for Jack here in the cut-off. Dan on our direct left on the button.
Yeah, I don't mind this open, but you do have to be very, very careful. You're opening also into Harry's big blind, who's second in chips. Wow, you're waking up with the hands, mate.
Yeah, and I guess we go like 180 here.
Tiny, even 160. 160, 160, 180 is fine, yeah. So he's had the goods every time so far.
But from the table's perspective as well, like just looks like it sets up that dynamic as well. Like next time if Jack's dealt a hand like that in the cut-off next door, but he might be less inclined to open it now because he knows Dan's there. And I always feel like in a live field, even online, like that dynamic at final tables, once you sort of let them know you will be getting after it, people sort of...
It was a little bit like us on the high roller final table the other day, like just being terrified every time Maujen entered the pot.
Yeah, literally.
Just had aces every hand.
I don't think he had many bluffs, to be fair, like pre-flop at least. It was just always top end.
I did see one. He did 3-bet Jack with ace 7 off at one point.
Oh, okay.
So he did get 1-3. He used the image for one of them.
He won that tournament with heads up, and on the bubble yesterday, the bubble burst of the main event with his aces.
Unbelievable. I actually said to Jack, I mean, I hadn't played with him before, but I said to Jack when we were discussing things on break that it was actually hard to tell if he was good or not because he just had the blade every single time. Yeah. I don't like that fold from Daniel there. I think he should open Jack line off and the cut off with this setup. I think Harry being in the small blind is quite important. He obviously is the one that you don't really want to play a pot with, but good timing.
Yeah, very good timing. It does just look like that the bigger stacks are punishing the smaller stacks, but they are just waking up with it here. Harry gonna go for what looks like 6 bigs. Seems good out of position. 6 seems nice. And Queen Jack and Martin straight into the muck.
Again, if I was splitting hairs, you maybe could even go a tad smaller than 6 there because like the in-position player isn't going to continue with many peels with this stack setup.
Yeah, it should just be playing 4-bet or...
Yeah, so you can kind of get away with maybe saving up half a blind or something there, but it's been very picky up to point out. It's definitely been fine the last 2-3 bets in fact.
Think well, this one is done. A5 of spades as Harry here. Guessing fairly shallow stacks behind. So Big Niff just with shy of 13. And Michael, oh wow, finds kings.
That's a nice hand to wake up with. There's a lot of premiums going about in there.
Take nothing away from the jam though. Harry's just trying to apply maximum pressure. But I'd definitely send 7-8 suited on the button here.
I think this may be a pick too wide.
Yep.
Like, see, the thing here is, right, I'm not influenced by the fact that Michael's got kings and he might double up, but Harry is currently clear second in chips at the moment, and he doesn't want to drag himself back into the pack. Like, he's under ICM pressure from Daniel, but like he's going to be under even more if like everyone's got the same stack.
Yep.
And Daniel's got 100 bigs, so this maybe just a little bit too wide, I think.
Yeah, like I said, I think 7-8 suited would definitely jam.
Yeah.
And as Dave says as well, unless we see an 8 on this river, but the problem is now we're down to 1.9, we're pulled back to the pack. If we win that pot and we're up to 3.1, we're still nowhere near down. It's not really like our upside isn't as like...
The risk reward isn't there.
Exactly.
And we don't have any blocker value. Now, I'm not saying it's losing. It could still be winning, but the risk reward just isn't there. Like, it's very, if it is winning, it's very marginally winning, and I don't think it's worth risking potentially 13 blinds. I think the small blind had more chips there, right? So if he wakes up, it's going to be even slightly more that he's losing.
Lovely spot for Michael to look down at kings, finds a hole. Nice to see a nice healthy rail today early on as well. First session of the final, a lot of people watching already.
Yeah, it's good they've got the chairs lined up. I mean, I was there the first 20 minutes or something before I came down here, but yeah, it's good to, there's like 4 or 5 people on there, a couple of people coming and going.
Ready to take a jack with an irons, gets it through. Not long now till Island, Dave.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's ever won it twice. Every time you go, you've got that accolade to try and achieve. So
that's true. I actually do know that someone has won it twice, because I don't want to accidentally kill someone here. She might have passed away recently, but I might be getting her mixed up with another Irish player. But I've got a namesake called Colette Doherty.
Oh, okay.
Who won it twice back in the like 80s or 90s or whatever.
Okay.
So,
I didn't even realise the Irish Open had been running that long. I thought it was like more of a modern, early noughties thing.
Yeah, it's the second longest running tournament in the world after the WSOP main.
Never knew that. So it's a big niff here. Gonna shove for just shy of 13, the 10-9 of hearts. We'll be getting it through.
Again, I think this one's quite subtle. It's definitely a jam and chip EV, but maybe not so much here.
It's nice they got a nice little new schedule this year as well over there. I feel like it's going to be a very fun 2 weeks. And then next month, if you fancy it, well, a couple of months, 5-6 weeks, our next 888 live stop, we are in Barcelona. Tara and I will not be there, but the team will be there for the next 88 live. Should be great weather, middle of May, poker in the sunshine. You can satellite into that online as well, guys. You can check it out on 888poker.
Have you been to that casino?
Oh yeah, is it Casino Barcelona? Yeah, only once. EPT 2016. My first ever like proper trip. And this is a story I always tell everyone. So it's like my first ever on my day one table. I have Sean Deeb, I have Byron Caveman, I had Davide Katai, and there was someone else, but I can't remember who the other one was. But I had like this just ridiculous table, and I was just in awe. Like, and it was when Byron Caveman was number 1 on the GPI as well, back in 2016. So it was just like I was just there, like in awe, just sitting there. And then I've not been back to Barcelona since 2016. That was the last time.
Yeah, it's a great casino. I got ironed out there last year, but love going there every year.
Ace Jack 4 Harry opens to 100k. What a situation for Dan though.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's amazing to see.
The stack just looks lovely. Just columns of chips.
What I would say, besides maybe like the Jack 9 off, which I would have opened in the cut-off, he actually hasn't had any combos yet to go after opens. He's either had the blade or he's just had something that he has to fold.
TD turn waiter, water boy. The problem is, Don, a lot of the time we clash. We always have an event that clashes with Barcelona, whether it be a GUKPT, whether it be an 888, whatever it may be. Like it's always seem to clash with something. Always seem to have something on back end of August. A lot of the time it's a GUKPT. I think last year it was an 888. Thing is, with all these streams these days, it's not much time to actually play other than Vegas and the Irish Open.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the GUKPTs, I do DTD, I've got a party poker gig coming up, I've got Mediterranean party poker coming up in a couple of months, like just literally everywhere now, so very difficult to get a lot of time to play. Next stop, hopefully WSOP. I know one of my co-commentators, Andrew Headley, done some comms over there last year at the WSOP, so hopefully might be able to swindle my way in this year, get on the comms. I'd love to sit next to Norman Chad and just have a little chat with Norman.
Yeah, I spoke to him a little bit last year. He's good friends with Lappin, so bumped into him via him. I think we just saw 6's open fold. Not sure which seed it was, but probably a good disciplined fold for the 2 chip leaders behind.
Harry here. Jam here, Dave, for 12?
I think it's for 12, yeah, I'd be all in, yeah.
13, but yep. King 7 sends it in, it's a big niff out the way. You are right, Alex. I'm very lucky to do what I do, get to travel a lot. Obviously love the game, get to improve as well. It's free coaching when I'm watching great players and seeing what they're up to, so I can't really complain, mate, you're right. I heard you do a bit of, you've been doing, was it Irish Open last year? I heard you on the comms, you done some?
Yeah, I've done some online as well, like remotely or whatever. I love doing it as well. Like, I mean, I don't think I've got the patience of you guys to sit and do it for 5 days straight or whatever. That's so impressive to me. But I love hopping in. I would probably do a day's commentary or take breaks here or there or whatever. But I do love doing it for a session here or there.
Like the reward at the end of it as well, because we've got so many regular viewers that come up to us how much they love the stream, and like even people that are trying to learn from it and come up to me and say, I've been listening to you, I've been getting some results, I've been improving my game, like very rewarding.
I think even Dean opening ace-9 off under the gun 7 here is kind of telling, because he's third in chips, he's in the blender in terms of chip position, and if I'm right there, Daniel was in the hijack and Harry was in the button. So it's not an ideal spot to be opening, but I think that's just speaking to Dean's confidence. Like, he's pretty content opening there, maybe feeling that he isn't going to get targeted so much.
Maybe like a function of what you said earlier with the sixes, if he feels like his edge is big enough on the table, he's not going to make many mistakes, if any, post, and feels like he's going to have that advantage, so maybe potentially can open a few pips wider.
Yeah, I mean, I would peel the sixes as well. I think the ace-9 off might be a pip too wide for me, but like I can still understand why someone would be going for it. It's interesting to me because like Harry's taking advantage here of Daniel's kind of lack of distribution at the moment. Like, I'm pretty sure Daniel would open this in the same seat, but every time Daniel's folding, Harry's taking prime advantage of it and really just trying to cement his place in the top two, I think.
Yeah. So middle pair here for Dean. Harry going to continue on the king 7-5. Decent board for our range, but we are going to get a look from Dean here with the 7-4.
I think with backdoor diamonds especially, you're just never going to check raise this one, and like you'll get a fair bit of turn lead on a lot of cards as well if you know maybe not specifically with hand on this one, but with range you could perhaps do some turn leads. So you're going to be protected by your range, and these ones can be a bit sad because if you do get double barreled here, you just have to fold. So you don't really want to lose the chips, but
Harry just
he's really going for it, isn't he?
Getting after it with the Jack 4. Nearly 5 figures locked up for everyone. It's going to be a big payday for someone, just north of £58,000. We are down to the final 7 players. We lost 2 in quick succession.
Back with you. Jay's gone for half an hour. Thanks to Dave for giving up an hour of his time. Top man.
Yeah, Harry's chipping up. I mean, he's got miles to go before he catches Daniel here, but he's taken every spot he gets so far.
I was going to ask you about Dan.
Yeah.
I know you know him. I don't know. I was going to ask. Have you? I don't know if you've mentioned it with Jay. Have you done a bit of coaching with him, or did you just know him as a friend?
Well, both. Like, I did mention with Jay like how we met, and I'll relay it to you just quickly. But there's a possible treble that could be completed today, like not Tyre's treble because that never comes in. But when so me and Daniel and Jack and Kyle and Katie are all good friends.
Excellent.
And when Jack won GUKPT Leeds a couple of years ago. Daniel dealt the winning hand to him.
Ah, right, okay.
When I won Luton, Kyle dealt the winning hand to me. And now Daniel's on the final table today and Katie's dealing.
What's Katie ever done?
Yeah.
So he's destined.
I hope so.
You think he's just going to be destiny?
Yeah.
That Katie's going to be dealing the final hand to chip leader Mr. Dan Johnson. How long has he been playing rather than dealing? Or does he do a dabble in the dealing?
I don't think he's dealt for a while, but he was still playing while he was dealing. I remember one time he was dealing at the Vic during a GUKPT, and he'd done like a marathon like session.
Yeah.
And he finished work and went straight to the Empire to play some cash, and was up for like 20 hours or something.
Wow.
But, I've been coaching him for probably about 3 years now.
But there are a lot of dealers that do turn the hand and do become very good players.
Yeah. Well, Jack actually disagrees with you. He's got a theory that dealers are at a disadvantage because
really?
Because because like they're so engrossed in the game that they can't switch out of they can't switch into like the player mindset or whatever.
Just looking back at the tables, Zavigniew,
Yeah.
all pocket nines from +1. Dean Lyle, local hero Dean.
Yeah, nothing that can be done here with the nines. It's a very good jam. Dean waking up is very sad for him.
Here we go. Do you know when Dean's last trophy was?
I watched the stream last night and he said to you it was here, but I can't remember the year, maybe 2014? Yeah.
2014 to 25-25.
It's crazy. He lost heads up for a bracelet a couple of years ago as well.
Yes, he did, yeah. So Dean's in with the queens, and it's Zavigniew who is at risk with the pocket nines. Can he get out of this one? Not at the moment. We are literally looking for one of the 2 nines that are available in the deck, or Zavigniew is going to be finishing in 7th, sorry. Then there he goes, Zavigniew eliminated. Another one bites the dust. We're down to 6. And Dean Lyle builds his stack up to 40 big blinds and 2 million. So very unlucky for Zavigniew, just busting out. We're down to 6 in the main event of the 888 Poker Live. And don't forget, plenty going on 888 tonight as well. Don't forget the Championship Series that's running until the 25th of March. We've got the daily free rolls and the satellites. There's the Galaxy of Aces that's on. The players competing in different challenges to get different tournament tickets. And the next event for us is the Newcastle 888 in the great city, just down the road. I say it's down the road, I just think it's down the road. I'm guessing it's 2 hours away, isn't it, Newcastle?
It's not that far, maybe like an hour and a half, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty nice train ride as well.
Yes, and the first time we'll have been at GUKP, first time we'll have been at 888 in Newcastle, and first time we've been working in Newcastle for quite a number of years. It used to be a stop on the GUKPT back in the day.
Even thinking that's crazy, because like, also we've got an interest. I'll just interrupt here because we've got an interesting hand. I think Harry should always call here, but he has gone for the 3-bet. I think this is really dangerous against Daniel. This could already be an interesting hand because I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that Daniel could go for a tiny 4-bet here. And then the ace-queen off probably will jam, but it would be a mistake to be forcing this many chips in when you're second chips.
Yeah.
I think he should just be calling pre in this distribution. Daniel is just going to fold. Definitely fine as well.
40 minutes of the first session to go. Blinds 25,000, 50,000. Jack in C5. Short stack. Played really well while he's been on stream as Jack. But yesterday he just had a bad session. But he has played really well. Did you see the call that Martin made with the ace-3 yesterday?
I didn't know.
Oh, we thought it was a bit speculative with the ace-3.
Who was that? He's still in the tournament?
C8.
C8. Yeah.
Oh, Martin.
I'd like to see a min raise here from Jack. I think with 11 bigs we still have enough room to have some raise folds, and I think queens is strong enough where you want to still induce behind. He's going for it. This is quite a dicey one. The issue here is like, this is a good combo to 3-bet, but yeah, that's a really nice fold from Daniel. If he's going to 3-bet, he's going to have to go super small here, maybe even as small as 3 bigs, which you never see. You know, like in final tables, you often see 3-bets to 5 bigs, 4.5, sometimes 4 bigs, but just with that very specific stack size, I think if he's going to 3-bet Jack with anything there, it has to be small enough where he can still fold if he's bluffing. So I think it's a good fold. I do think people tend to be a little bit stronger when they open off of these stacks, but
Well, we see the flop as Michael does make the call out the big. King 8-7, 2 diamonds.
yeah, this is quite dicey as well for the Jack 9 off. I would probably favour folding this pre, because even Jack steals here, when he's bluffing off of 11 bigs with his open, he's going to have hands like King Jack off in there, maybe a Queen Jack off, maybe an Ace 9 off. So like you're actually getting coolered quite a bit if you flop a pair, and you're not going to be able to get away with it, away from it at this stack depth. So might have folded the Jack 9 pre there.
Are we always wary of the overcard, or should it be a thing that's a thing of the past kind of thing? Like there's an overcard, he's obviously got a king.
Yeah. Well, the question we have here is like, what are we? He's not going to like that river either, but
No,
it's just going to go check. But so the question that he'll have is, if I bet here, what am I doing versus a raise? Because the big blind is very often, if he continues on a board like King 8-7 and a flush draw, if he's got a hand like 9-10, he's just going to jam it in and play for stacks. If he's got a flush draw, he's just going to jam it in. But if he's got a king, he's going to jam it in. So you want to think about, are you willing to bet call off if the guy jams on you?
Yeah.
Because you might not have that much equity now with queens. So actually I'm fine with the decision to just check that one down.
It did get worse for Jack, but he managed to win a small pot. And don't forget another keyword coming up soon. I think we'll do a keyword. Are we going to do a keyword this level line? I'll have to have a look at the old Twitch. You'll have to text me while Jay's not in the building. I've got my Twitch open line. We'll do one in about 7 minutes. How's that? We'll do one in 7 minutes. First keyword. We've got 15 tickets to give away. Thanks very much for 888 for giving us all the tokens. The $22 tokens today. There's 15 of them.
This is just ridiculous from Harry Tower. Like opening 7-3 offsuit into Dean Lyle, the best player in the tournament.
Yeah.
When Dean actually has a bunch of chips, like this is just ridiculous. It's almost bordering on reckless, I would say. Now I know he's second in chips and he wants to stretch that lead and maybe try and get heads up with Daniel, but you do not open into the best player at the table's big blind with 7-3 offsuit.
My Twitch is Tower68. And I'm currently logged in. Keep guessing the keyword, I keep trying to win tokens, I never win.
I was just saying to Jay, like, even though Daniel's got this huge chip lead and you expect the chip leader to go after it and put everyone under a lot of pressure, he's actually not been dealt that much at the table to do it. Now, I know he's had Ace Queen v Jacks and Ace King v Jacks and won both of them.
Yep.
But besides those hands, he did have Kings once as well. We 3-bet. Besides those 3 hands, he's not even had good hands to open. Like, maybe I've seen an Ace 4 off he opened before, but he's not had many hands even like that where he can go after it. But I also don't think it's a bad thing. If he just maintains the stack, the blinds go up, everyone else gets dragged down a little bit more, a little bit less room to maneuver. It's actually beneficial for him if, you know, everyone's suddenly get, instead of 18 blinds, they've got 13 blinds and now they're...
You know, when you run the sims, can you run sims from being big chip leader?
Yeah. Yeah, you can adjust it and see what... see how your opening ranges change or whatever.
Yeah,
there are
because if you are to apply a lot of pressure, then obviously you've got the chips to do it.
Yeah.
So you might either your range opens or your betting sizes change a little.
Yeah, you're right. You're bang on. Yeah. So it's quite interesting, Daniel's seat at the table here, because I think if Harry was on his right, the way Harry's playing, actually, like, he might still be opening and taking spots away from Daniel anyway. But if Harry was on his right, then theoretically Daniel would get to play a lot more open jam, with a couple of very similar stacks behind him, as the chips dwindle, as it gets to maybe like 16 BB, 20 BB behind him or whatever. He's got jacks here in the big blind. I'd like to see him just call here versus Harry. I think it's quite dangerous to build a large pot at this juncture with a second player in chips. Just strengthening your calling range is quite nice, I think. Does go for the 3-bet. I think this is fine, but it's also quite dicey if Harry just clicks it or whatever, right? Because do you really want to be jamming 50 bigs in versus the second guy in chips when you have the table on lockdown, basically?
Yeah.
So I think calling would have been better pre there.
So 3 minutes to go until the first keyword of the day. 3 tickets to give away, 3 $22 tickets to be used on 888 poker. Plenty going on 888 this month. And don't forget, 888 Live, the next big one is in Barcelona, 8th till the 18th of May, where it'll be warming up. It'll be 25 degrees, it'll be beautiful sunshine. And then later in the year, 888 Poker Live will come back to the UK and back to London. And the newly refurbed Vic, the Victoria Casino on Edgware Road, will be the place, because it'll be absolutely stunning once it's reopened fully. Some of the pictures from the changed Vic at the minute look great, so can't wait to get back there. We've got a gig there in July for the GKPT, and then 888 London is in September.
Do you know if they've got any air conditioning fitted in with this renovation?
I am pretty sure they will have everything. If they're spending if they're spending $12 million on a refurb, I am pretty sure they'll have a new a new aircon system.
Yeah, it'd be nice to play in the Vic where you aren't sweating buckets, or the roof isn't leaking or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, brand new roof, brand new everything. It does sound how it's going to be superb.
I remember a couple of years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, Terry Jordan was playing in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to this one actually. This is quite a nice 3-bet spot, I think, potentially for Dan. Just interested to see what he goes for. Does take it. I think this is fine. I might put a little bit extra juice on it just against Dean. I don't think Dean's going to continue with a lot of call anyway, but just to discourage him doing it. He is obviously the strongest player at the table, but I think that's a nice little pick-up. Yeah. But yeah, I was saying Terry Jordan was at the Vic a couple of years ago playing the GUKPT stop in the summer, and it was so warm inside that he went to the desk and asked for a pair of scissors and cut the bottom off his jeans and turned them into a pair of shorts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's class. Only Teddy Jordan. Brilliant. Oh, you gotta love TJ. So after this hand, we'll be doing a keyword, and we'll be on Twitch, 888 Poker TV, only on Twitch for the giveaways. You can watch on YouTube 888, watch on YouTube Grosvenor, and on Facebook on Grosvenor Poker as well, but only the tickets given away on 888 Poker TV on Twitch. So get yourselves over. If you want to participate, or stay where you are if you don't want the chance to win the tokens.
See, this defend for Michael's a lot different. This is an interesting flop as well, but so this defend for Michael's a lot different. I just said a minute ago he should fold the Jack 9 off to the open, but that was versus a player who had 11 blinds when they opened the pot. Daniel's the chip leader. He's going to be very, very wide here. I think Jack 10 off will play just fine against his range. Actually intrigued to see how this will go though, because there's a chance Michael will just check jam the flop if Daniel bets. So could be an interesting one. But definitely fine with very small bet here. Monotone boards does make it less likely Michael will continue with jam now when Daniel goes so small. More likely to just call, see a turn card. And on this turn card, I'm interested to see what Daniel will go for size-wise, because in a lot of these spots, people go geometric, which means that you're betting the same size on the turn and river, but on a monotone board, I think you still want to be able to bet your Queen X for value here. So that would lend itself to a slightly smaller size on the turn. So I'd like to see, you know, if he checks, I think that's okay, but I'd like to see maybe like 130 here from Daniel or something like that. Does go slightly larger, just goes for the B40, seems fine as well. This is a very difficult decision for Michael, right? Because Daniel could just have the nut flush here and he could be drawing dead, but like he feels like he maybe has a lot of outs with this exact hand. But do you just want to jam into the chip leader and get snapped by the nuts and be out? Or do you want to check call and, yeah, I agree with that fold. It's just very, very awkward for Michael. Good discipline.
So, for the first time today, we have got a ticket, three $22 tickets for the giveaway on 888poker TV. It has to be on Twitch. It is a keyword. You basically type in the keyword as soon as we say it. You'll have about 3 or 4 minutes to do it, and then that will be it, and then it's randomly drawn out of the hat. But as he's won an Irish Open and a GUKPT, and he finished 24th in the 888 event in Portsmouth, the first time we ever went to Portsmouth.
One of my proudest results, that one.
There you go. They're down in Portsmouth when he was with Mr. Jack Harcastle. The keyword today, for the first time today, the keyword is Dave. D-A-V-E. And that's all you need to type into the chat. He finished 24th and he warrants a keyword. 24th in Portsmouth. Mr. Dave Doherty, GUKPT winner, Irish Open champion, and more importantly, 24th in Portsmouth.
And 4th here the other day as well, mate.
Yeah, that is true. That'll be on the database very soon. And he will be in Newcastle as well. So get your keyword in. The word is Dave. The word is Dave. Get it in there. You'll have 2 or 3 minutes to get yourself a guess and put it in, and then randomly you will be picked out. I wonder if anybody's going to type in Rodney.
Oh, you should give someone a prize if they'd done that before you said it.
It is on Twitch. 888poker TV on Twitch. Our first time in Portsmouth. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I
really enjoyed it.
I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked the area. It reminded me a little bit of here, actually, in the sense that it was in a busy area with a lot of food options, like a lot of entertainment options. So yeah, I did enjoy it. If the card room was bigger, like it would be ideal for a GUKPT.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you'd be able to squeeze
Well, we've
one
got a
in there or not.
Summerfest there a little bit later in the year, in June. I know a lot of people will be heading over to Vegas in June and July, but we do have a Summerfest in June in Portsmouth. We'll be heading down there for the live stream. Hope to see some of you 888ers down there as well. Plenty going on this year. But we're down to 6 in the final table. Dan Johnson, big chip leader on the final table. Running well, playing well.
There's a lot of opportunity after the break when the blinds go up as well. If these 3 stacks remain in 22 minutes time, as you can see on the clock there, and they'll all have around like 9-10 bigs, and they'll be trying to ladder to the top 3. Now, the other 2 stacks that aren't done just cannot finish below third with this chip distribution. They have to be so careful not to get coolered, not to overplay a hand. So when the blinds go up, if these 3 guys are still in, I think Daniel will get carte blanche to go a little bit crazy when it opens for a while, at least until some of them get knocked out. And I'm not sure how many chips the big blind has here. I think generally we should be playing raise in this spot as Daniel.
600k maybe?
Yeah, I'd like to see him go for maybe like 125 or something here. That's exactly what he does. Big blind with the king 8 suited. Seems like a really nice defend. So I think the temptation can be there to jam a hand like this. I think it would be incorrect. I did not expect him to fold it. That's quite surprising, yeah. I know Dan's the chip leader, but that means that he's got a lot of hands, and king 8 suited is a really playable hand. So when he was tanking that long, I thought he was maybe considering shoving. I think that would also be an error, but it wouldn't be as big an error as folding. I think you have to put some chips in there.
You've got a minute. Here we go. Like we are ready right now. The countdown is on. Dave was the keyword. Not Monday. That's tomorrow. We know what's happening on Monday. So the countdown is on. Who are going to win the tokens? The $22 tokens on 888poker TV.
You see the pressure they're under here, actually. Michael just folded king 10 of clubs under the gun, which I can totally understand. I think personally I would have opened it, but I can actually understand in this scenario why he doesn't want to get involved. I would like to see Dan open the 9-7 off as well there. I think that's a little bit too tight. I know Harry's getting a little out of line, but you still need to wield that chip lead and open those ones.
So we have got Poker Utopia winning a token. We've also got N Milligan winning a token. And Eureka 90 winning the token as well. Well done, you 3. All 3 of them. You know what to do with your whispers. Make sure Lime can send you the message. And well done. $22 tokens will be credited to your accounts. We'll do another one straight after the first break of the day.
So even one like this as well, even though we don't have blockers, like I feel like Daniel could open the 8-7 off and the cut off as well there just because of his chip leads. I'm actually kind of surprised he's folded a couple of these because I think normally we'd find them online, but maybe just wanting to protect the stack for a little bit, not play any larger pots.
Oh. So Dan out the hijack, chip lead.
Yeah, so this one I would be surprised if he folded. Yeah, this is 3 hands in a row that I don't think he should be folding as the chip leader. He has to be wielding that stack a little bit more. Just a little bit tentative so far. I was waiting to see what he was going to do when he got the sort of middle part of his range, because as I said earlier, he had a lot of bad hands and a lot of good hands to start the final table. Not much in the middle, but Yeah, he's been a little bit on the nitty side so far.
Martin raises. Just about not all in. Never folding if he gets raised on. 12 bigs for Jack. Martin on 14. Michael on 15, and then the other 3 have chunks. The next giveaway will be after the first break, so within the hour. But we have 16 minutes left of the first session of the day.
Your 10 place final call for all main event finalists. You have 1 minute remaining of the break. That's final call, main event finalists if you choose.
So within the hour, the next giveaway, 3 $22 tokens given away for 888 poker. And plenty going on 888 as well. The championship game series is running until the 25th. 100k guarantee for that one. Daily free rolls and satellites. And then the Galaxy of Aces is on as well, with over $300,000 in prizes. 15 minutes to go, with 6 players left, 13,000 locked up, as you can see on your screen, straight behind Dean Lyle. £13,850 for 6th. Done with an ace out the big.
Yeah, we could see him go for a 3-bet here. I probably would just call this one and go slightly weaker with the offset one, but I don't mind him taking it versus Dean's open as well if he just wants to pressure Dean when he's in a middling stack. Yeah, he has gone for it. I think this is okay.
Is this a send from Dean?
Yeah. It's pretty sad, but I think he must be aware at this point that I think this is the second time Dan's 3-betting when he's opened the button.
Oh, just a call.
It's just calling, it's fine, yeah. It is, I mean, to be fair, I answered that very quickly, but it is a very dicey situation for him when there's 3 stacks sitting there with 10 bigs.
8-9 Jack. Here's the flop.
So at this point we start thinking, if 1.7 million chips of Dean are going to go in this pot, what sort of hands do we want to have to be putting them in there? And it feels like this board is substantially better for Dean's peeling range than it is for Dan's 3-betting range. So I agree with the decision to check. I think he should be checking quite a lot of his range at this point, even as the chip leader. It's just a very favourable board for Dean.
Let's check.
Give us a little 5 dealer, come on. Not a queen, that's a bad one.
A little bit dicey. Queen of diamonds rolling.
So again, the question becomes here, like, is this a better card for Dean or for Dan? How many 10x is Dan 3-betting out the big blind? Probably not that many. I think Dean's going to peel hands like ace 10 suited, king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, maybe jack 10 suited. So he's just going to have a big advantage on this turn. What I'm interested in is whether Dean checks or whether he just goes for a tiny kind of in-position protection bet.
Well,
he has checked. I think it's not unreasonable for him to go like 200k there, just knowing that he's protected in his range by having all those 10x.
So does Dan think he can only win the hand with a little bet?
I think he should give up here. I don't want to see him bet at this because I think Dean's range is still fairly strong. He might think that he's at the bottom, or he doesn't. If he's not betting this, he's not betting anything. But yeah, it's a little bit He's just gone for a block. I think that's a little bit of a misstep, honestly. It's very little in Dean's range. It's folding there, I think.
Dean Lyle nearly up to 3 million, 12 minutes to go until the end of the session, the first session of the day. The Dragon must be on a break because Jack Hardcastle's still behind us.
It's on a break.
It's on a break till next year.
Until Newcastle, I think.
22 players left in the Dragon.
So just as Jack Davis is in the chat there saying would Dan not be 3-betting King 10-0, Ace 10-0, Queen 10-0? Possibly he could be, but the point I'm making is more about how each range is how Dean's range is condensed. Dan has a lot of combos in his range, right? If he's going to go for 3-bet bluffs. So if he's going to have Ace 5 off, he's having Ace 4 off, Ace 3 off, Ace 2 off. That's a lot of hands that aren't hitting that board. Whereas Dean's calling range is very condensed around Broadway cards and pairs. So he is going to hit that board a lot more frequently. So you just kind of have to respect that and play a lot of check to him. I think it was kind of like a little bit of a desperation bluff from Daniel there, but would have preferred him to just give up, I think. This one's going to be a jam. And Martin's not really had much going for him so far.
He has not. Jack down to 10, Martin on 12, Michael on 20, heading towards the break.
Still such an outrageous position to them.
Yeah, I think he's missed a couple of open spots. Maybe a little misstep on the river against Dean there, but still an incredible spot to win.
Yeah.
Maroon Pug says, what's your chances at 5 o'clock? What's happening at 5?
Scotland game.
Oh, they're playing Greece again?
Yeah.
Well, you 1-0 up, aren't you?
Yeah. To be honest, I thought the other night, like it was the first leg was on when we were playing the high roller final table, and Cammy told me that Scotland were like 4-1 or something. He thought it was a great price. I thought we were going to lose. We've got a few. We had a few injuries going to Greece, and they seemed pretty strong to me. That they beat England in their group in the Nations League. So yeah, I thought that perhaps we would lose, but with the lead at hand, then I think we'll probably get the job done. I'd maybe say one each or something, but I think we'll get the job done and stay up.
Is this Jack's turn?
Should be.
It is indeed. Yeah. All of it, and Dean is never folding.
Yeah. Daniel should fold the sixes here. I think he knows well enough to do it, but yeah, pretty quick fold.
There's 5 out of the way as well. Back round to Dean. He'll make the call. Dean Lyle pocket 9s. Jack has got the ace jack. So off we go to the races. Dean Lyle to get over 3 mil and to bust Jack out in 6th. Well, we've got 10s playing. 10s, aces and jacks.
You noticed that, did you, Kev?
2 of clubs, no help, same scenario, a 10, a jack or an ace. Or we're down to 5. And it's a king. We are down to 5. Well played, Mr. Jack. Good to watch it on the stream this week. But finishing in 6th. Dean Lyle building up to 3 million. Jack Moore is no more.
And not to write the other 2 off, because especially Michael still has 20 bigs and can easily spin that up. But like, I think if it gets 3-handed between Daniel, Dean and Harry, it could get quite interesting. All 3 pretty aggro players.
So we're down to the final 8 minutes of the first session, and we're on 5 for the final table. We will be doing a keyword straight after the break. We'll get another one in. We'll get live to send us one straight after the break. So we've got about 20 minutes for the next keyword, 25 minutes, and then we'll do it when we return for session number 2 of the final of the 888 Poker Live here in Glasgow, where Scotland will win 2-0 tonight.
Sure hope so, mate.
What's the chances of Michael Rennie getting a call-up anyway? The Clyde striker. He scored 2 yesterday and an assist. He's got to be up there.
Was that in the treble?
No, but they were odds on against Bonnie Rig Rose. They won 3-1. Scored twice and an assist. Great player.
Have you ever put any Scottish teams in the treble?
If it would have been 3 o'clock yesterday,
Yeah.
it would have been Arbroath. But the Kelty Hearts equalised in the 90 plus 4.
Jeez.
So would have gone down, would have been tears.
Would have got torched.
There would have been tears. But they were all 3 o'clock kickoffs yesterday, and obviously we didn't start the stream till 5:30 p.m.
I almost never put like any football bets or anything on, but I remember years ago having an accumulator on of only Scottish matches.
Yeah.
So I used to do it every week. We'd put like a fiver or a tenner on each with like a couple of mates, and we'd all pick one team for the accumulator.
Yeah.
But this week it was like there was 5 of us doing it, and this week there was no English football on, so they just deferred to me and asked me to pick 5 Scottish teams to play.
Yeah.
And the first 4 all won, and we were waiting on Celtic to win the League Cup final against Kilmarnock for like 1,500 quid each, and Celtic lost 1-0.
Oh no! Oh dear!
That was a painful one.
Kilmarnock?
Yeah, it was a double whammy for me. They were all saying to me, "Why did you put Celtic on it?" I was like, "Oh, Celtic in a cup final."
Yeah.
Yeah, we played horrific and lost 1-0, so that wasn't so good.
So the last 5 minutes of the first session, and we are down to 5.
It's a nice little adjustment from Michael folding the ace in the button there. Which is quite interesting as well. I think Dean's going to play very heavy limp with range at this depth when Daniel covers him. I like Daniel's decision just to knuckle ace 6. Certainly fine to raise it as well.
2 Jack is the flop.
It's actually an interesting flop this as well, Tara, because quite a lot of people will just bet their queens immediately here and try and get value, but that would be ignoring Daniel's range, which is actually going to contain way more deuce X than Dean's is. So he would have, in this situation, Daniel would have called with ace high, but Dean is playing this hand perfectly. It might look like he's not getting value for his hand. Now Daniel's river to 6 and he's definitely getting called. I think he was anyway, but yeah, it's just that pot. Very, very, very well played from Dean there.
Dean Lyle playing super stuff.
It looks very subtle. It's something that's easy to overlook, but he's checked twice there because he's very aware that Daniel can have deuces in his range in the big blind, and he doesn't want to get raised and play a huge pot out of position versus the guy that can bust him, when Daniel could just be sitting there with 7 deuce quite easily.
Change of dealers for the final 3 minutes of the first session of the day. We're down to 5.
I just hope when Daniel watches this back, he doesn't think I'm being too critical. It's like I always try and be honest, because like it's like a coaching session for me. This I'm like watching him and I'm being like, I think there's little intricate things that could be better here or there or whatever. I also hope if his mum and dad or sister are watching, I'm sorry for.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
If he's misclicking or doing anything out of step, he'll learn from it.
Listen, like I'm giving him grief because I know how good he is, and I'm not saying for a second that he's playing badly here. He's playing well. He's just missed 1 or 2 small spots, but
that is it.
Yeah, he's still doing fine. This is going to be jam call, I think, as well, Claire.
Look, if somebody makes it 4x and it's a little bit off topic, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got another flip to
Here
maybe
we
be
go.
like
This
before.
could be down to 4. We could be down to 4. Mine with the 8s against Dean Lyle's ace jack. Are we up to 1.5 milli heading towards the break, or are we down to 4? And we hit the jack, Dean Lyle. All the spades are working. We need an 8 for the festival nuts, or a spade to survive. Oh, we backdoor it in. We backdoor the flush with the 8 of spades. The wry smile from Dean. And Martin, whoa, gets a double to 1.5 milli.
Done it the hard way, and I did just say a minute ago I didn't want to write him off, and now he's right back in it, right?
Yep.
So, nice little backdoor run
Pocket
out.
8s. Don't get the festival notes to get 4 to a flush instead.
So Mick the Mod's just asking what Dan's biggest cash is. He ran deep in EPT Prague in December with me, so we were both in day 3. He busted just before me, but he's better than his live results look, because he hasn't played that much until very recent times. But yeah, he had a nice run in Prague.
So here we go, last hand of the session. Martin gets a huge double to survive. The final hand is now upon us. 15-minute break on its way. Keyword coming before 3:30. Tune in straight away after the break. Dean looks down at ace king.
I think it's probably good for Daniel overall for Dean to lose that flip, just because Dean's such a strong player, and it keeps him ahead of everyone. If Dean had won that flip there, he would have been very close to Daniel on chips, I think.
Yeah.
So it would have created an extra bit of dynamic, but it's probably good overall for my boy that Dean lost that, even though he didn't get the ladder.
This should be in the hand. Check bet fold, probably on its way.
You would suspect so.
And that should be it. Thanks to Dave Dougherty for giving up his free time and watching his buddy still in the lead with the chip counts. Thank you very much, Dave.
I'll get tired. I'm gonna.
You'll be on the live rail from now.
Yeah, you'll be able to see me on the screen. I will be.
It'll be like they're jumping about.
I'll be holding a beer, celebrating, hopefully bouncing about later.
Fantastic. We will see you in 15 minutes. Thanks to Dave Dougherty for his free time in the comms. We'll see you in 15. 5 left.
See ya.
Calling all low to mid-stakes players, it's time to light the torch. From March 16th to 25th, 888poker presents the Championship Games, an exciting series where you can qualify for free every single day. And don't miss the $100,000 main event with a buy-in of only $25. Register today and take your place at the top of the podium. 888poker, made to play.
Oh, look at this.
What a way to start for Kieran. Welcome to day 2. Ace King suited, thanks. Under the gun +1. We'll be bumping that up. Dan in seat 2. Pocket 9s. Straight off the bat here.
What's happening here? It's a right setup for the first hand of the day.
16 blinds, pocket 9s. +2 versus +1. So Ace King +1 open. We'll probably just see, and Tom's got Ace King as well in the 6th seat. From the small blind here. And lovely swell here for Tom. And it's going anywhere but all in the tower. There it goes. Over to Ben in...
Oh! What a setup
All
this
right,
is!
here we go. I mean, if this is the tone for Fridays this year, I can't wait for 2025. Let me tell you that. We've got setup of the year already in the first hand of day 2.
It's like Sean Hayden's been dealing.
+1 open, +2 3-bet, small blind all in, big blind all in, and action back now over to Kieran. And like in this exact action, we just know that we're probably going to be flipping at best, but there's no way we can fold here. Ace King suited.
What do the nines even do?
Nines have got to fold no tower, to be fair. I mean, there's just no way that we're going to get even a reasonable representative equity here 4 ways with nines. And
it's 2-day 2 bains.
I don't think Dan ever had the intention of 3-bet folding the nines here, but just got to get him in the bin. And here we go then, straight off the bat into 2025.
Wow.
Ace King, and queens.
Oh, Thomas is like, oh God.
So can he dodge? Well,
no.
Don't need to dodge, do we now? So this is
what
it.
about flopping him dead?
That is absolutely wild. I think 1%.
2 fives, running fives, that's it.
Backdoor 5-5, yeah. Thanks for coming, boys. Thanks for coming, Mr. Miller. What a start.
Wow.
What a start. I don't think he could have envisaged.
Thomas is probably already out the door.
Yeah, I don't think he'd have envisaged a better start to day 2 than this. That is absolutely wild.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty clean 3-bet jam here for Easty against Ben's open. And I don't be getting out of the way. I don't think we're going to be calling this one off tower for 10. Jake going to step out of the way and going to think about it. He's going to have a chuckle. Lays out the time banks. Yeah, these two know each other very well. But even in this situation, I don't think we're going to see. Oh, we can see that make the call.
Oh no, Easty's face.
King 9 of hearts is going to take it. King 9 of hearts through. Easty's pretty happy to see that with the ace queen.
And we need to play it over here, says Easty.
Well,
that's clean.
10-7-5 is reasonably clean. 4 direct outs for Ben, but definitely some fun turns. That's not one of them. And now that takes our outs down to 4. Can't be finding a diamond, king or 9 as Ben now either.
Oh no!
9!
Oh no way, man.
Josh Manley, hand over head. What is going on?
How do we run?
Look at Josh. Look at Josh.
How bad do we run?
Look at Josh.
Oh, the rucksack's on. There's note in it, but the rucksack's on.
So John's turn for the 9s. Picking up some hands here, 3-handed John, I must say. Some nicely constructed hands as well, but certainly getting the goods so far. Makes it 75. Oh, wow. Jakey.
Wow.
We're talking about people getting hands.
Looks down at the boots.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Clear 3-bet here. 240 maybe.
Yeah.
235, close enough. So John just going to make the call here.
Off to the flop. Jake with the aces. Oh, look at this. 9-7-4. He's just out-flopped him again with another set. He flopped 8s against 9s, flopped an 8.
Oh,
9s against aces, he flops a 9. Delicious. God,
Well,
that tea's going to taste beautiful very shortly.
Well, with these exact hands, I don't really think there's anything wrong John can do here other than fold, which is obviously not going to fold top set.
Can we flat?
Yeah, I think so too. I think flat's perfectly reasonable. You know, I do think raise is fine as well. When we raise, we flush out hands that will naturally fall C bets here as well, though. So ace king, ace queen, ace jack, king queen, king jack sometimes. I do like flat. Personally, but I don't think there's anything wrong with raise. It's just one of those where you struggle to do something wrong.
We go.
That looks like a raise.
He has raised it up. He has raised it up, and Jake's looking down now. You're not flopped another set, surely, John?
Jacob playing. I mean, John's got pot behind here, so we're already SPR1 for John. Jake doesn't have the ace of spades as well. Wow,
all in a snap. He can't win.
Get him over.
Look at that.
Get him over.
Flop set again. Oh, no, he's not.
No way.
Ace of spades turn. Where's that come from?
That's what I was thinking.
Where's that come from? And then he just pairs up on the river. 9's full against ace full. What's happened there for John Webb?
That is absolutely grim.
Ill.
Like this from Josh. Very nice set.
Ace 5.
Unlucky
John
set.
just snaps.
Walks into it. Ace 5 of hearts. Not in great shape.
He
But
slaps down the ace 5.
still, 36% of the time, he's going to win 100% of the time. We're going to need. Well,
I'm not being funny, but if you're behind, you're just being flop dead.
He's going to need
99%
a heart.
of the
We need a
time.
heart on the turn hit out or an overcard to engineer us some kind of chop.
99%
Well,
of the
now
time.
we need a jack.
Can he find it?
Now we need a jack.
It's a jack to survive. It's an 8.
8 of hearts.
Josh Manley.
He'll be a bit gutted, but at the same time, should be really proud. It's a great run,
Absolutely.
Josh. A great run.
£5,590. Josh Manley.
Yeah, to navigate yourself
Well
through a
played,
day
Josh.
2 buy-in. Well done. So Ben, 10-8 offsuit here on the button. Just gonna take this one all in.
Send it first time.
Here
He
we
gets a
go.
call.
Queen
First
10
all
dominating
in the
as
call,
well here,
baby.
Jake.
First all in the call on the final table for the championship. Here we go. Queen 10
We are
for
playing
Jake.
for the title.
Well, we got
Deuce, 9.
not the
So
best flop at all, was it,
it's
for
not
Ben?
the best flop, mate, no.
Tell you what, these flops have been brutal for the guy behind today.
So we are going to need an 8.
Or an
3
eight.
of them left. In the 888, we need one of the 3 8s.
Can he hit it?
Or
do we have
it's going to
a
be
champion?
Campione.
Hey. We got a
Campione.
champion after one of the best battles you will ever see.
Here we go, as I said about the Broadway for Adam.
No way are we. Oh, the ace king not getting this.
Any
surely.
tens about?
Pocket 10s for Trev in the hijack. Makes it 700, and Andrew, Jack's magnet. I think 3rd time so far, first session of the day, that he's found himself with the hooks. He's going to go for the free bet to 2k. Oh, wow. What a spot for Nige.
Wow, look at this.
And we saw him cold call the ace king earlier in a similar dynamic, although that was button versus small versus big. Surely we're going to see the 4-bet coming here.
Yeah.
You need to go small when we 4-bet tower, because just how polarised you are, you don't need to go large, like out of position. Like, could even go like 4,800 here as Nige. But 5 seems okay. But like in general, like 4-bet size out of position around 2.3, 2.4x. In position goes slightly smaller, like you can go like 2x, 2.1, around that sort of remit.
Are we folding jacks again?
I doubt we are, because of the previous dynamic that occurred when we had to 3-bet fold jacks, and sometimes it's that psychological factor that you sat there, you're like, can I really fold jacks again after 3-betting? And it's a different dynamic. This time we can go post. We have position as Andrew. We're not putting all the chips in pre like we would have been on the previous occasion. But we're going to get in trouble.
We are indeed on an 8-eye flop. Backdoor spades for Andrew with the jacks. Nige leads just under half.
Yeah, too big in my opinion, ties. Fairly connected, but when ranges get so condensed in 4-bet pots, our C-bet doesn't need to be large. Like, we can find 20%ers, but
all of it.
we get the induce from Andrew, and Andrew with a grimace knows that he's in trouble.
Oh, I found it on the turn. The diamonds. Ouch.
What a
Nigel. Feeling for you.
No waiting around for Andrew.
Wow.
See you later, Nigel. I'm sure we'll see him jump back in, but what a turn. A little 2-outer for Andrew Outer.
Has he made these graphics up?
Oh my word. Mark, how do you find this spot, sir? How do you find this spot?
Wow, what a setup.
Who gets this?
Wow, what a setup this is. Smart.
And Adam's probably going to be able to get away from this tower. I feel like it will go.
Does it depend how big he goes?
Well, Mark should probably just 4-bet here to like 6k, 6k, 6.5k, something like that. It goes huge. This is like a huge 4-bet. And now Adam will probably fold the ace king. He can get away from it
like that, isn't he? Yep. All of it. Oh, Adam.
Like, what do we beat? Like, this, like, what on earth is ace king in front of here now when we're going to go three-way likely? It's gone gun open, we 3-bet, cold 4-bet.
Oh, he's gone for it.
Wow, he's ran it.
He's going for it. And the aces can't wait. Yes, of course. I mean, get me in.
I just feel like if there's ever a time to fold ace king, that's it. Tower, we got a gun open, we 3-bet, cold 4-bet, and there's a 5-bet all in before it's back on us. What are we up against? Queens and jacks?
It's isn't it?
I don't think so. So I feel like Adam, who's just come to the table, had a real chance to get away from this. He's going to need to make Broadway, or the nut flush in the spade form.
And Balbia needs the case king.
Literally, what a spot for Mark. You just don't get better spots. 85%, three-way with 75k in the middle.
Pre-flop, 85%. Wowzers.
Well, here we go, as I said about the Broadway for Adam.
No way are we... Oh, the ace king not getting this,
Any tens about?
Any king?
Oh, what about the case king? Imagine a 10 now for a chop between the aces and the ace king. Oh, it's a 2 of diamonds on the river. What a run out. Thinking about the 10, the case king rolls off.
5-way.
James Parker is thinking, why did I not make this a little bit bigger? I'm now going 5-way with ladies.
How confident do I feel with the ladies?
Okay, guys, your blinds are restarting at 30,000, 60,000, 60,000, big one empty. Please begin to deal. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone. Good luck.
I'm back, guys. And so someone else, Eastie's back, going to join us for, not sure, as long as he wants, whenever he feels like leaving the booth or whenever Tower feels like coming back in, we'll say goodbye to Eastie, but he's going to join us for the start of this session. What has happened? An hour and a half into the day, and we lose 4 players. So we got 5 remaining. We're on a 40-minute clock, going to be playing 3 levels. Dan with the chip lead, Dean second in chips. Off we go.
What kind of factors would you say are most important for a quick final table? Like, what have you noticed about these players particularly that maybe means that we've had a faster one than normal?
Just the when the covering stack, when we've had all in and calls, I don't think we've actually had a double up yet today.
Right.
Maybe when Dave was in the booth briefly, but just when the big stack gets it all in against the short stack and they cover and they keep winning these all ins. That's all it's been.
So it's nothing about the player types.
Not really. It's just every all in and call has gone to the covering stack, and that's obviously
helpful to progress.
Yeah, to knocking the players out. Done there with the king 6 opens.
Still pretty healthy, you know.
Yeah.
Even at the bottom, 16 big blind, super playable for people that aren't me. Michael, still in the mix.
Did you speak to Josh much yesterday after the nines jam?
Yeah, I caught him afterwards, straight upstairs, and he was obviously having a little drink to console himself, and I gave him a few words of, you know how it is when you console your friend after a beat, especially when you've got a piece. We both had a little moan, but it is what it is. He took it quite well, to be fair. Better than I did.
Suit here for Michael as the short stack 15. Just going to walk Dean.
Legend of the game indeed. What a player. From the online 500 Zoom streets.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Millions in earnings. Best result coming all the way back. Oh, all the way back. I say coming back 2024. Last year, WSOP in the 25k. High roller. Dean finished third in that one. Nick Shulman took the bracelet.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing cash games for a long time. Oh my God.
Oh my words.
I mean, you don't need to be that good in this spot.
You do not need to be that good. And this is grim for Harry because Dean gets to attack this stack. Oh no.
Unbelievable.
Because we just 4-bet jam here and we fist pump because we just pick up this 3-bet so often from Dean. Like he's going to have so many 3-bet folds in this spot. So as Harry here, we have to send for 30.
I mean, we don't have to. We're absolutely delighted to send it.
Of course.
Oh goodness me! I mean, how on earth?
Jeez. That is the most ridiculous call-up. 5-handed. Second in chips, third in chips. What a setup for Harry here. Nothing you can do, sir. Can we realise that 6%? Any sweats on the flop for us?
I mean, what an absolutely insane call. I mean, I asked you at the start, how do you get down to the turn 5 so fast? This is sort of how you do it. Yeah. And we could be down to 4 here, Jay. There's 6% and now there's 1. It has to be running kings or running straight.
Or Jack for the chop.
Or Jack for the chop if you're optimistic.
I am optimistic.
Could be dead on the turn. We're dead on the turn a lot and we are dead on the turn. And Dean knocks off another one and is now a serious danger around 4 million.
Yeah, I don't think Dan's gonna love seeing that. Yes, he ladders, but now Dean gonna be closing the gap on first and chips and a very accomplished player. And I think everyone still sat there would agree, probably the best player at this final table to start the day. Terrific resume. You see all the tournament scores, but also plays high stakes cash as well, which you won't see.
Absolutely monstrous cash game player. Like, monstrous. One of the most respected in the higher stakes streets for the last, decade or longer. Like, unbelievable player. And a big problem at 4 million.
Yeah.
A big problem.
The only thing going for Dan is obviously seat draw. We're on his direct left, so we'll get to see what Dean does first. 75% of hands in a 4-handed situation. But it is 3:30, guys, and we are down to 4 players on the final day here of 888 Live Glasgow. What is going on?
I mean, people are getting very good hands that are covering stacks, and they're getting not as good hands, I suppose. Ace-10 of spades for Dan. Very solid 4-handed hand. Blind on blind. Well, everyone obviously will be not happy to see Dino pick up some chips, but also they'll be very, very happy that they've all picked up a lot more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that, at the end of the day, is the main thing that they're here for now. Obviously, Michael will be the happiest of all on that 16 big blind stack. That's really, one of the only ways that you're not next at risk is some sort of really big caller, because everyone knows you can't just bang it in willy-nilly. Even if you know that Dino's up to it, you can't just do whatever you want. When you've got ace-king, you can. But sadly for him, look at these. I mean, I know we've gone quick, but that heads-up could be long. You never know. If we get there sooner rather than later, perhaps. 100 big blind heads up. Wouldn't fancy playing Dino heads up, I'll tell you that for free. Anyone's game. But 2 big ship leaders, 2 cut adrift that will need to find spots. But 23k, even if they're out now.
It's a great week, whatever has occurred previously in the week. The ladder's getting real juicy now, 9k extra in our pocket. We can outlast one more, so you assume Michael and Martin would just both love to see one or the other get involved in a pot, potentially get that near 5-figure ladder. Dean with the Queen 10 suited just gets to open here, and ace-7 off here for Michael in the big blind. I think defense good here. Like, we are going to shove like some of this ace-X that's as a bluff prefer lower down. Like, Dean's probably going to call 4-handed like ace-9 suited, ace-10 obviously plus.
Another great flop. for Dean. Top pair, backdoor flush draw. Ooh, what's this?
Yeah, not a fan. Really not a fan of this. We shouldn't get any leads on this board. If we have 8s or 10s pre, we shove, and even 5s now four-handed, less ICM potentially will send as well. So, like, our value range here is stuff like 10-8, 10-5 wouldn't peel at this stage. So we have like no value here as Michael. And like when you think of our bluffs from the big blind, all these gut shots, Jack 9, 6-7, 9-7. There's actually relentless combos of just all these sort of gutted hands, and potentially could have saved a big and a half here and just check folded. But Dean going to be raising, trying to get it in, and I guess he just assumes Michael's never going to donk as a bluff there, because I'd probably assume the same thing. It's a strange old lead.
A bit of a strange one, obviously. Lead's generally the product of some sort of advantage in range, and I can't see any combos that he can have that Dino doesn't.
Exactly, yeah.
So probably not the one, but creative. Might have knocked out some hands. I mean, I'm thinking, does it really knock anything out at all? Maybe
not ace jack don't fold, not against that size. So like we only get calls from better. We don't fold out better hands. There is Michael.
I think playing out of position against someone like Dino, you know, you do feel like you have to do stuff to sort of get involved. Kings of Martin here, by the way.
Hands are out, and Martin here off a 23 should be fairly tight still, raising into Dean's big. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dean attacked this open fairly wide now that Michael sat there with 10 bigs. However, 10-8 off wouldn't be the candidate that we ever choose. However, we do get to defend it for the same reasons. Just on certain runouts, we get to apply maximum pressure. It's not like Martin has a chip EV button opening range here. He should be tight up because of the stack of Michael in the small and the big stack, or one off in the big blind.
Yeah, I mean, not the board that Martin would have liked, but still in a significant lead here, and it's hard to imagine at the moment Dean finding a way to win this one.
Yeah, and on first glance it looks like a bad flop here for the Kings, but a lot of Dean's ace-X, like if he's got ace-deuce for ace-5 in the big, I feel like these are going to be taking high frequency bluffs, just applying what pressure to Martin, sitting third in chips, but just going to c-bet, and the 10-8 out of the way.
Yeah, so that gap now, only a few hands ago, was quite close between Michael and Martin. A few hands later, potentially a misstep from Michael and a pickup from Martin has left them 16 big blinds apart, and now you have to imagine Michael's feeling the pressure the most in terms of needing to get it in and find a spot for himself to get back amongst the pack.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, Martin shouldn't really be trying to tangle too much with Dean or Dan for the time being.
And they'll be tangling with him as much as they can.
Exactly that.
It's a story as old as time, but it always rears its head when we get to this stage. Jack 7 of diamonds on the button for Michael.
Yeah, I'd still let this one go.
And these two are, let's say, disincentivized to do much battling.
Like, Dan's got one that we can potentially use, but I doubt we do. Like, let's just say, don't really want to be playing big pots with Dean. Dean don't really want to be playing big pots with us out of position. Like, theoretically, blind on blind, king deuce off, the offsuit high-low can be used as a little polar raise, trying to flush out some like in-betweener cards, as he does there with a queen 8. And Dean just knows there's no need to tangle out of position. Look how these stacks are distributed.
Yeah, great seat for Dan, really.
Yes.
You know, definitely the best seat in the house. With the chip stacks as they are. And obviously you want to be on the left of Dean if you can.
RG says, just realised I used to work with Dan at Genting Casino in Edinburgh. What a guy. Used to be one of our tour dealers when we come back after lockdown. And then I think he's been playing a lot more as of late. Saw him in Edinburgh last year at the GUKPT, attacking the main event.
Seems to be doing all right for himself.
Very good friends with David Doherty, which obviously helps.
Yeah, that'll do it.
When you got a mate like that you can chat hands with.
Jack 6 of spades.
Definitely raise.
I mean, just raise whatever you want, can't you?
There are potentially some stuff I wouldn't take, but like this one, just want to be applying pressure to Martin, but doesn't choose to take it as Dan goes for complete. Martin going to get to check the 4-3 and realise.
And sometimes, Tom, it's about the cards you get and fold anyway. I don't know.
King deuce, 2 spades here. I don't mind a little one big stab here, Martin, with the nut low. Just sort of one and done. Just fold out some of Dan's like 5-7, 7-8, stuff that is in front of us. Wouldn't mind it 4-3 with a spade. Just a little one big and done, but decides against.
To me, in Martin's spot, like on flop when it goes check, I feel like Dan would he not just like bet maybe it's like 8 highs and stuff anyway, like, and then when he checks he's probably got stuff that more check continues than check folds.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Here comes bet now, pretty good turn card, and obviously nothing we can do with 4-3 offsuit here, even though we've got a gut shot paired board. Not the one, as we can see the payouts here, 23-6 for next out, 58k for first. Still potentially a lot of play left in this one. $80 bigs in the final 4. I mean, huge. 2 of them over 80 bigs. Dean with the 6s. Clear open. And here comes Dan with ace-king suited. I know we said you want to avoid conflict, but sometimes conflict comes to you.
Yeah. Still need to 3-bet this one as Dan. And 4-handed, cut off versus button, this deep. Dean shouldn't be folding, I don't think, here, Nick.
No, I mean, it's kind of a hand that you don't get into loads of trouble with unless you hit. So it's a one you don't mind taking flop with. Exactly. You know, if you hit a 6, you know what you're going to do. You're going to get loads of money in and be happy whatever happens. But if you don't, you kind of just get away fairly cheaply and you only invest the 390. So I do expect Dean to call here.
Yeah, like at certain stack depths, could just fold like the 6s, but when we are this deep with Dan, 4-handed now as well, slightly less ICM than an hour ago. Still think we want to see 3 as Dean.
You're just not regularly in tough spots post-flop. You're fairly clear what you're going to be doing on every flop. There's obviously a couple that are dicey.
Like the 10-4-3 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like the tough ones, aren't they?
But they're not going to cost you infinite money. So this one, for example, should be that. Nothing but c-bet and fold going on here, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe some check back.
Yeah, potentially some check back. Because just more flushes for Dean, I think, here. Like, Dan's not really incentivized to 3-bet like Queen Jack of clubs, Jack 10 of clubs, this type of stuff. However, Dean, as the peeler, more incentivized to pill these hands. So does go for the check back as Dan, but I still think we're going to be seeing a delay on this turn. 3 of diamonds rolls off. Dean got to be checking still with the 6s here. Like, if Dan has gone for like a 3-bet bluff, we probably just expect like 15%, 20% small continue with his bluffs on the ace-high board. So likely to be weighted towards something that could potentially call a turn lead. So Dean rightly checks it over. And now as Dan shouldn't really have any 5x other than pocket 5 specifically. 6 combos. I feel like bet small still could be an order. Dean should still check some of his suited ace-x of his own over twice, out of position.
Yeah, and certainly we'll have some single club hands that must pay a bet, so seems like a reasonable spot for value. Like pocket 8s with a club.
Yeah, it has to be the pairs with a club. Like all the offsuit King Jack, Queen Jack stuff's going to fold pre, so like all these pairs with a club can get a street from.
Not this time, as Dan takes a little lead. looking good for it right now. I mean, what we know is that Dean's not going to be bothered about. He'll battle no matter what. He doesn't care. I don't think ICM's probably on the forefront of his mind. He would like to win this tournament, I imagine. Straighten them up with a king 10 off.
Yeah, very good, very good. Just because Michael in the small here, there's this collision factor. Like, Michael's going to have to send a lot of hands when folded to.
Yeah.
So you got that collision factor there on the button.
Oh, wow, ace queen.
Wow, he's found it, Dean. King deuce from Michael, sends it into the middle for 8. Dean calls ace queen to it. But this is why you fold button there as Martin. Just because, like, Michael has to shove a lot of hands here and Dean will call off for 8.
Yeah, and also, like, when Michael folds, Dean gets to do whatever he likes against Martin, knowing that Michael's still there. So, yeah, love the fold on the button here. Now, obviously, Martin had a king as well, so we know one of them is gone, and that's not going to help one bit. A few backdoor club things going on, but 5 outs, 5 direct outs, and only a quarter of the time going to be winning this one, Michael. Needs some help on the turn, and that is decidedly not help. So only a deuce or a king now, or we will lose Michael in 4th and be down to 3.
What is happening? Jack of spades on the river, another one gone. Nice run from Michael, decent payday as well.
Yeah, really solid run, 23k as well. Can't be too upset about that. Where did he start the day in chips?
We got it there still. There we go, 9. He started 5th in chips.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very reasonable performance.
So £23,600 for Michael Broadhurst. How are we down to 3 players and it's not even 4 o'clock? What I'm going to say, we have a lot of $22 tickets to give away. We better start giving them away now because this could be done by 6 o'clock today, guys. So what I'm going to do, in 3 minutes time, we are going to go to a keyword and I have 5 tickets to give away.
Wow.
5 $22 tickets to give away. 2 minutes time, I will tell you the keyword and we will give away 5 $22 tickets for 888.
Twitch only, guys. So if you're on YouTube, come and get that keyword in on Twitch. Back to the action, 3-handed now. Martin, whatever comes from here is just a bonus, you know. He's got an opportunity to potentially double up and find himself back in the mix, but he'll be delighted to be where he is.
Yeah, where did Martin start today? Did start in Fern and Chips and sitting 3 of 3 right now with 3 remaining.
I would never do something like that. Dean on button, ace-8 offsuit.
Yeah, clear open.
Queen 7 of hearts for Dan.
From the small, I just let this go. Yeah, we got Dean covered, maybe. Dan thinking he can pressure second in chips, but we're just not shallow enough. Like, if Dean had like 2.5 milli here, much more inclined to potentially take some lighter free bets. But when Dean can do just as much damage to us, just don't need to get involved out of position as Dan. Winning 7 into the muck. Obviously, range is going to slightly widen 3-handed, and once again, even less ICM now that we are sat with 3 left.
Yeah.
And after this hand, we will do the biggest keyword yet of the day. 5 $22 tickets to give away. You have a great chance if you are watching on Twitch right now, guys.
Dan 8-4 suited. Gonna start things off. Dean. Couple of options here.
Yeah, both options available. It's just going to land on the flat.
ace-high board for Dean. And an interesting one for Dan, because having an 8 here is pretty relevant.
It is. Obviously, the 2-pair stuff, liking to block the ace-8, the king-8. The pocket 8s as well that potentially won't get aggressive out of position to Dan here when he is the player that can bust us free-handed. So it is actually a really nice little card to hold. It's going to see bet for what looks around 40%. Is that 125?
Yeah.
Yeah, so between 30 and 40.
I was going to say a 4 would be fun. How much would you think Dean would lose on a 4?
Now decision point here for Dan. If we're barreling term, we need to barrel most rivers because we want to try and dislodge the king X and ace X. By the time we get to the river, this 1-pair part of our opponent's range, as we say, an 8's a nice card to have. King 8, ace 8, pocket 8's all in range of Dean and blocking those heavily. So, like, imagine Dean with like ace 4 or ace 6 here, and you're met by a triple barrel. You're going to have a real tough time calling down.
Yeah.
But Dan elects to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, probably just given the dynamic of this FT, I would love him to triple that off, but can understand the check.
Well timed though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because Dean wouldn't have been folding ace jack, and most certainly probably wouldn't have been the river we get to barrel on anyway as Dan, but turn barrel would not have been working. And now thinking here, there is a few combos of stuff we beat. The queen jack, the queen 10, the jack 10. You've also got the missed diamond draws there that have bricked out. The problem we have, once this ace pairs EST and Dan checks back turn, Dean can just value bet his king jack, his king 10, like it is his king X holding. So it's not a situation here that Dean has an ace or better. He can have some king X here. Even for 2/3, I feel like button versus big, when ranges are so wide, free-handed, button big blind, I feel like the king X could even choose this potential larger sizing when we can credibly rep the queen jack, jack 10, queen 10 diamond draws as our bluffs.
Anytime you're holding a pure bluff catcher against a player that you know is unbelievably capable, it's definitely worth spending some time on it. Obviously, that's exactly what we have. There's no way that he's bluffing with a better hand than ours. So,
like, nice to have the 4 of clubs. Very nice side card. Unblocking all this queen jack, jack 10.
Well out of the way.
Diamonds. So, I wouldn't fault Dan if he paid here.
He is paying, and then Dean now with the chip lead as he shows the ace jack, which is good. Up to 5.8, and Dan still around 5 million. Can definitely sympathise with that call.
Yeah, I understand it. It makes sense.
Dean finding some heat, definitely connecting with some boards, and obviously knows what to do once he does.
We rocked up yesterday at R5, and I don't know how he done it. I don't know if he's a time traveller, but started the day yesterday. We had a look at the 93 players coming back. Tower goes, I fancy Dean Lyell for this one.
Yeah.
And he somehow just picked it out of the blue, and here he is free-handed with the chip lead.
I mean, picking one of, oh God, look at this now. Ace Queen suited again.
Yes, now we cover slightly different. Been playing complete all the time, blind on blind, but now I feel like we cover Dan. We are going to see the aggressive route taken from Dean. Has been completing in this situation free-handed when he's small and Dan has been big. We're going to continue with the completes.
He knows that Dan's been attacking his limps a lot. He's had to fold the last 2 times that he's done this. This hand, though, probably just going to be going for check.
I don't feel like Dan's going to attack as much now, though, that there's a 12 big blind separation between the two, like Dean now having Dan covered.
Diamonds would be fun, Jay.
Slightly different dynamic.
Great flop for Dan. Definitely go either way with this one.
Yeah, I feel like with the backdoor flush draw and the gut shot could definitely play some checks.
Obviously, we can call a check raise anyway, so betting's not obviously the end of the world either. Do decide to check on this occasion. And we turn trips as Dan. Dean with just ace high, though, probably will continue to check. Martin watching, hoping things happen around him.
And going to have to call a street here as Dean.
Yeah, of course.
with the ace queen, all this sort of 9x, 10x, 4x, 5x of Dan can potentially start delaying now. Spade draws there as well, something like a jack deuce of spades, trying to fold out queen highs, king highs, ace highs. So here comes the barrel from Dan here, and pretty clear call for Dean. Half pot size, but got to come along for one with ace queen high, blind on blind.
Pretty quickly flicks it in, and off to a river. Dean does not want to see an ace or a queen, and that is a jack. Shouldn't cost him any more money.
Yeah, it's now potentially jumping behind some more stuff like the jack 9, jack 5 suited, jack 4, a few combos that potentially could get there for Dan. We still beat some like random 9x, random 5x, but not really one of these rivers we're going to be too happy to be calling on here as Dean.
It still is probably a pure bluff catcher because, I mean, obviously when you check back the big blind, you have all sorts of hands. And it's checked to you twice. It's certainly got to be tempting to look this up because obviously it should have a wide array of stuff.
Like 9-4 off here, like that's going to be a mandatory bluff on this river. Like stuff like 9-4, 10-5, like these combos that block both ends of the straight. Potentially some suited 7x. And he makes the correct decision. Doesn't get sticky with the ace high. Realises pretty bad river to be heroing on.
He's got plenty of jacks to call there with. Plenty of other pairs. Probably feels like he doesn't need to delve into the ace high. Well, jack 3 off for Dean. He'll have to take this one off. First time he hasn't played a hand in a few orbits, I think.
I feel like it's like 17, 16 here of Martin, isn't it? Dan may open jam. I feel like 20's too much, but we will see. Yeah, it's got 19. Does still go with jam and flushes out a heap of equity of the queen 10, 2 in betweeners.
Yeah, 21 to start the hand probably. Yeah, it's going to be fine up to like 25 or something like that, just about. Certainly easier to play it that way.
Yeah. I definitely shop the ace deuce for that much. Like when we become more middle in and like I feel like we fold out less better hands, so we'll maybe start.
Yeah.
Needing a few less big blinds effective. Longest giveaway in the world. Sorry, Kev. We've been loving the action. I forgot about the key word. We will go to it after this hand.
Free-handed is tough to do things at the same time because everything's always happening. Comes Martin with 5-4 suited, 20 bigs. And he's going to raise. Oh, he's going to call, sorry. That's reds.
We need a remote cattle prod in the booth to get us going with this giveaway.
So, a fair fight here. And a very interesting flop. Gut shot for Dean, but flush draw 2 unders for Martin. And Martin goes for check. Dean does have the 10 of diamonds, maybe tempted to start betting here.
Yeah, we fold out some stuff like the queens, queen 8 down to like queen deuce. Like ace high should be sticking around for 1 blind on blind, and some of Martin's ace high may potentially get aggressive pre. Especially when we're this outright short stack as Martin, like ICM for us here, almost imaginary. Like when we're this outright a short stack, we're playing very close to chip EV when we have these 2 massive stacks in a free-handed situation.
Yeah.
So like the reins are loose for us as Martin. If we want, we can actually get after it a bit more when we are this heavily covered by both.
Well, that's not the queen of diamonds, Jay. It's the deuce of spades, but it does give Martin a gut shot and some interesting options if it goes check bet here. Any chance we check rip this one? because it's tough to realise if you just check call.
Out of position as well. Yeah, I think it could be one. I think the 5-4 of diamonds could definitely be one here. I think you could be right, Nick. And as I say, like, it's not a situation now where like we're making decisions for money because we're just such an outright short stack. We're going to be playing incredibly close to chip EV, and like in chips, these are like the type of spots we can put some one pair stuff in the bin of Dean here, and we've got 5 high, so when we get the folds, we always fold out better. When we get the calls, we're still going to have a gut shot and a flush draw, so from our perspective, still a nice healthy 12 outs, good for just shy of 30%, and absolutely love it from Martin.
Beautiful play.
Really good find, sir. Difficult to do when you're playing for this amount of money, but a brilliant move from Martin Byrne there. Love that from him. And I've not forgot about the keyword, because we are going to it now.
You did. But.
I did. If you're not watching on Twitch, guys, YouTube, Facebook viewers, get yourself over to Twitch, 888poker TV. You need to participate on there. I have $22 to give away to the chat box, and the next keyword of the day is Dino. Dino.
No bias. It's just a good thing to charm.
It is. I've got a dad called Dean and a brother called Dean.
Really?
Yep. My older brother's
You couldn't
Dean.
think of any other names?
He was the first boy. It's like that.
Dean Jr.?
Dean Jr., yeah.
You didn't want to call you Dean Jr. Jr.?
Nah, I just got Jay.
Or Dino.
And they are $22 tickets, not 25. If I said 25, my apologies. I'm sure you'll be all right.
Hello. I mean...
That's a fair flop.
Yeah, it's a reasonable one for 7-3 suited. Dan, though...
I'm going to have better stabs just already in our head here, not really doing anything. Maybe like the offsuit 8 on the turn, something like that, one we could start stabbing. But just to check back here.
I was talking to Josh yesterday because he said he watched me play on the feature and he was like, I didn't know that you knew anything. And I was like, well, I do know some stuff. And he's like, why you don't study though? What's going on? And I said, honestly, I think it's just osmosis from being in the booth with Jay.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
It just sinks into my mind, like, and then I go, oh yeah, you know, big little from the big or whatever, like, oh yeah, you could 4-bet this one, stuff like that. So yeah, cheers, mate.
Oh, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. Obviously not working out well this week because you didn't. Yeah, if you're listening to me and not cashing, something must be wrong.
Well, I'm ironing some stuff out, and maybe we'll get there eventually. You know, could be my day today. Beat the Ambassadors, 5 o'clock. Not the toughest task, but as I was telling Tao yesterday, they didn't beat us last time. Ian took it down.
That's what I said yesterday. They should just rename that comp Beat Ian Simpson.
Yeah,
because Ian just wins everything.
He does tend to either win or spectacularly fail.
Like he's won a big shot, he's won a dragon, he's won a Beat the Ambassadors, he's won a main event.
Yeah.
Like has he won a high roller?
No, I don't think
Is
he
that the
has.
one?
I think he's come like third.
I think that's the only one Ian's missing, a high roller, but he's literally won every other event on the calendar.
The way that his style, the way he plays, it is either top or like bubble. Like he does not care at all.
He gets after it big time.
Yeah, I watched him yesterday. I was on the rail. I was just going around doing some social media stuff, and I caught him in a hand. And I think under the gun opened off 30 bigs, and he just straight sent the pocket twos on the small blind for 30 bigs effective, like 17 off the money. And I was like, there's not something I'd do, but I don't find anything. So I was like, maybe it's good. He got caught by his king, and that's where he lost a lot of his chips. So he's a very high variance player. He'll take any spot.
Very aggressive. So Martin here actually seems very clued up, Martin. Like we saw that King 10 off button fold 4-handed, which I really like, but I like this defend with 9-6 off here because once again, same scenario, we're playing very close to chip EV now when we are this outright short stack, so does come in with the 9-6. It's a beautiful turn for Dean to potentially go for the barrel here. Only problem is at this stack depth, it's that annoying stack depth, isn't it? When we bet and we get jammed on, we just have to fold a heap of equity here with the Queen Jack, Queen of Spades. So may actually go for the check back for that reason. Already.
How often do you really get shoved on here, though?
Well, a lot of flushes from the big blind, Nick. Like as I say, close to chips now. Martin would defend like the 8-4 of spades, like a lot of spade combos in there. But does just go for the second barrel and does fold out the 6. But it's Dean Lyell, it's not me.
Yeah, he's just
he just
relentless.
knows. He just finds the spots. Dino is the key word. Here we go. Lime will be starting the countdown. If you've not guessed in the chat box, guys, get your guess in. All you have to do is write Dino. Easy as that.
Pocket nines for Dan. Monster three-handed.
Congratulations to Barrett G1. Congratulations to Tokyo Go.
I believe it's Goo.
Tokyo Goo. And congratulations to Night Owls. Still another 2 to come. As it's raise and take from Dan with the Knights.
No defend from 5-4 off. I mean, I'm not arguing with it. I'm just saying. I'm just interested.
I feel like could potentially defend, but then once again, maybe just not wanting to tangle with Dan out of position. Like some of those times, potentially flop a decent piece, reverse implied odds. You lose a huge one, suddenly we're close to Martin in chips.
Yeah. King 6 of diamonds on button for Martin, probably too strong to let go. Gonna have to get involved here.
Yeah, clear open. Congratulations PMF333 and congratulations Crowned Pilgrim. They are the 5 winners. We will have a few more tickets to give away next session, guys. May have to do them this session. If we do lose another one and we get to heads up, we'll have to probably do them all at the start of heads up because then we know it can finish at any given time. But you look at the stacks here, this is just so deep. Like, for example, if Martin busted now, we're going to have 100 big heads-up battle. Yeah. 100 big average heads-up battle.
That'll be a fun one. I'll tell you who is comfortable at playing 100 big blinds, and that's Dino. He's been playing 100 big blinds his whole life.
Yeah, probably the worst person in the entire field to end heads up against.
Genuinely the worst by far. I would imagine by quite a long distance as well. You'd have to give him if it is even stacks and you round 100 bigs, he'd be a huge favourite probably against anyone.
Yeah, especially on this clock as well.
Yeah,
like loads of time.
Just a monster heads up, and at that stack depth, it's a horrible recipe. If you heads up with him, but obviously these two players will fancy their chances should they get there. It's a free shot at a trophy. There'll be no deals. We know that much. So we'll be going the distance regardless. Welcome back to the booth.
McTower's back.
The McTower.
That's how they were speaking to me last night. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Genuinely cannot understand a word. I was like feeling really energized for my cash session yesterday. I sat down, there was these 2 Scottish guys talking, and I used all of my energy trying to translate what they were saying. I swear I didn't even get half of it. It was unbelievable.
I love it up here. Absolutely love it. It's been a great stop of the 888 lives. It really has, and hopefully next year back again.
It's got some character, hasn't it?
It's super. What an unbelievable, absolutely beautiful place.
Yeah.
The actual building, just a whole casino bang in the centre of town is just so nice.
Yeah.
Have you done another keyword?
Yeah, it's all done, mate. Don't worry. Five given away just now.
You're off to play beat the Ambassador soon.
Yes, I'll be.
So we'll have EC until he needs to get his how to play poker book out before they beat the Ambassadors.
If I was going to read one of them, I would have read it 3 years ago, Tower. I'm committed now.
Who's got the... Crowned Pilgrim has got his whispers set to private. Please unlock them so Lime can give you the ticket. We are 3 handled. What's happening here?
So, Martin opened the button and been shoved on by Dan, obviously, with ace queen. This is almost certainly too weak to call off, I would imagine. And fold we do. Martin getting whittled a little bit, Tower. And as we can see, if he was to be whittled all the way down, 31,800 is not a bad consolation prize.
Yeah.
Still in the mix for now, for sure. He'll have an opportunity to get himself back in the game.
Yeah.
Poker always tends to give you that chance.
He does. The Brit Chick says it's been a great series and I really love seeing people enjoy themselves in your local casino. Next year come back and have more PLO. Well, there's always at least one.
Yeah, always one.
Sometimes there's 2.
Sometimes a 4, 5, 6.
Of the PLO, so always nice. But we've loved it. We really have. Everybody's been very well accommodated and they've just about understood us as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget we're coming.
Yeah, exactly. We're visitors here.
We're all visitors here, but it's been superb. It really has. Loved every minute of it. Even managed to get out to go and have some. Watch the local talent and want to see everything round and have a few sing-songs and everything and
right up your street, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you love it.
Bang in the middle of everything.
Yeah. I actually won 2 flips this tournament, Carl. But like I've been moaning about losing flips forever. I was like, I'm playing okay, but and then I just donked it off in 2 spots. I've only got myself to blame this time.
Yeah. And I tell you what is talent up here? The local buskers.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah, they can sing.
I'll tell you what. There was a guy the other morning. He got these bobber boots on. He was got this great big coat on, and he's got this massive beard. And then he starts singing "Les Miserables," and I'm like nearly in tears. It was brilliant.
Does it take a lot to reduce you to tears, Tower?
Oh, not when you're singing from "Take Me Home" from Les Mis.
A man of culture.
Absolutely.
We already knew that though. Martin down to 1 million now, hovering towards the dreaded 10 big blind mark. Dean and Dan will be hoping he doesn't last too much longer because they'll be wanting to get on with this heads-up match.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't double, then obviously someone's going to be taking a lead, but they'll have 150 big blinds between them.
Yeah,
it'll be a titanic battle. It really will.
That'll be a great match.
If they get heads up, you never know. Martin survived a couple of the triangles in.
Oh wow, Jack 10 off here, going with it. Down in the big blind with 4-2 off. That'll be that. I was just saying to Jay how comfortable Dean's going to be heads up at this stack depth, given his history.
Yeah.
Just I was just saying that probably the worst player you could possibly play against heads up.
Heads up for a bracelet.
At that depth, yeah.
Was Dean.
He is not bothered, and he's very, very capable. Dan obviously acquitted himself unbelievably well over the course of these last 3 days. And Martin's still in the mix. I heard you picked Dean out of the pack early on.
From 93.
Yeah.
From 93.
It's just what you do, isn't it, Tower?
That's it. It's just nice to see a guy that's come back onto the scene after not seeing too much of him.
Yeah, he took a little trip away.
And he has had his end and bob picture updated from his last win.
Yeah.
Because his actual last win was in 2014. But he has finished second for the bracelet. His last win was, I think it's back here. I'm pretty sure he was back here.
Well, he very well could add to that today.
There we go. 2008, his first win. 2014, the 25-25 here in Glasgow at Merchant City, finishing first for £12,000.
Are all the last 3 Scottish? I believe they are.
I think so.
I know Dan used to work in a casino, and I think Martin's definitely.
Yeah, Dan
Scottish.
used to deal. He was a freelance dealer.
Yeah, so I believe they are all Scottish. If I'm wrong, I apologise, but I believe they are. So 5-4 suited this time. We saw Dean let go the 5-4 off. Obviously a much superior hand. The 5-4 suits and a pair of 4s on the board for Dean. Dan just king high, going to go for c-bet. And we won't be going anywhere. Pair of 4s, backdoor flush draw on this paired board. Pretty reasonable board for 5-4. Dean might be thinking about check raise, and check raise it is, Tower. Get to knock out a bunch of equity from hands exactly like Dan's. And there it is, takes it down.
Martin used to deal poker in Glasgow. Well, there you go.
2 dealers then.
Dan Johnson used to be a dealer on the circuit.
Some great stuff from all these 3 players. But you feel like something has to give soon.
Absolutely.
For Martin, at least.
We are getting down to 10.
He's finding it tough to pick up pots.
Yeah.
Thankfully for him, he will have a chance. We assume at some point he won't just whittle down. He'll find an area to get his money in. Down to 1 million now. That's 10 bigs, just over 12 big blinds. And into the big blind for 2 more.
13 bigs for Martin. Can he turn it around? If you're just tuning in, you've missed some day.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon and we are down to 3.
Well, I sat down and I asked Jay, why is this one going so fast? He was like, everyone just keeps knocking out the shorter stacks. They just have slightly better hands. And then he finished saying that, and they got aces against ace king. We lost another one. So he's not wrong. It just sometimes falls that way, doesn't it? Not often.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Sometimes we've had 8 or 9 double ups on around the FT, and it just lasts a full 12, 13 hours. That's just the way the game goes.
Interesting one here for Dan. Couple of options. Could certainly just pile it in, and does. Does Martin pick anything up? He does not, and he will lose 2 more of those precious big blinds. With the ante and the big down to 11 bigs now, 890,000. It's getting a little bit, not desperate, but it's certainly coming to a head for Martin.
If they're in and he's in front, he will turn and pray to the poker gods. That's all he can do.
Even a double at this point leaves him astray from the second chips. There's a lot of work to be done for Martin to get back into this one and find himself heads up, but we've seen much stranger things in this game. Ace-10 off for Dan. Any hand now could be it, where Martin takes his stand. And we know that Dan would call if Martin found something here, and it's not a snap fold, and it looks like this could be it, Tower.
We find an ace in the small with 10 bigs, and in goes the triangle, and he's going to see the bad news.
Oh, Dean!
He's going to see the bad news because Dean Lyle's got 9s.
I mean, is Dean going to go for a small re-isolate here? It looks like he will, and a fold quickly from Dan, who lets go an ace, and Martin's in huge trouble here with only 2 left, Tower. 2 left of the aces in the deck. Could be 2 left in this tournament, unless there's another ace to be found. 22% equity. Can Martin find it, or are we heads up at 888 Poker Live in Glasgow? Here comes the flop.
Flop time. Jack 4-3, all hearts, no hearts playing. We need an ace. Running 6s.
Running 5-7. Running 5 deuce. There's not a lot of hope. 14% worth of hope. The turn is a 4, and now it has to be a black ace, Tower.
Barry, can we find it?
Or we will lose Martin in 3rd place and be heads up. River card.
is an 8. We're down to 2 players and heads up at 888 Poker Live here in Glasgow. Martin, well played, sir. I'll tell you what, he made a big call yesterday with the ace 3 of hearts, and he ended up taking one out, and that was one for the books for Martin, and they turned it into 3rd place and £31,000 and change. Well played, sir. Aye, big smile there.
I mean, you got to be happy. You know, he's battled. It's one of those where he never really had an opportunity to get back into it. He did what he could, found himself a spot and ran into it. As sometimes that does happen.
Yeah.
But what a performance.
There is a 7 or an 8 minute break.
Okay.
Until they come back for heads up. They'll have 5 minutes. They'll go and chill out with get the chips sorted out. They are sat in seats 3 and 7 as it stands right now. We have a 7 or an 8 minute break, and we will be back for the heads up battle between Dean Lyle and Dan Johnson. Who will win it? Well, you can only come back in 7 or 8 minutes and find out.
Jay will be here. I'll be going.
Good luck in the Beat the Ambassadors.
Thank you very much.
Do you, if you take out Ian?
Yeah.
Do you get a bag?
I don't believe so, but if I did get a bag from knocking out Ian, I would frame it.
Go and win something.
Thank you, mate. I'll try.
Thanks for all your time this week.
No worries.
We'll
Pleasure.
see you soon for the heads up. It's going to start in about 7 minutes' time. See you then.
Calling all low to mid-stakes players. It's time to light the torch. From March 16th to 25th, 888 Poker presents the Championship Games, an exciting series where you can qualify for free every single day. And don't miss the $100,000 main event with a buy-in of only $25. Register today and take your place at the top of the podium. 888 Poker, made to play.
9 for Mammon in the window. Ace on the turn.
Spade, anyone?
But Spade's
Spade for the
available.
double redraw. That's a very good flop for the ace-6 of diamonds.
Well, I'll tell you what, Deravianco has also got a flush draw here.
This is why we got the dealer change. Look at this. Something for everyone.
I mean, not just something, like pretty chunky something for everybody here.
Everyone's excited, aren't they?
Yeah, Piras is like, okay, I mean, if you'd have offered me that, I'd have taken it. Bosco can't believe his luck, and Deravianco's like, well, I was in the big blind, so a flush draw.
Yeah, but I'm rooting for chaos.
Yeah, but this is rather chaotic
Saturday
as it
night,
stands.
Nick. I need violence.
Let's not use it all at once. But let's see what the turn brings. There are a lot of interesting turns that Piras will not like that the other two would enjoy more. Oh dear, that is the card in the deck. The card.
That's absolutely sick.
It's the Queen of Diamonds.
Get this dealer a raise. Let's face it, pretty horrible beat. Flush over flush in Hold'em is always a horrible beat.
This is such a sick spot. Piras needs to slow down here. Okay, there are 2 players in this hand, both of which can easily have flushes.
But can you imagine being Bosco? Just sit. This never happens, right? You're sitting there, you go, oh my god, I hit my flush. That's awesome. That never happens. And then the first player bets, and then the second player calls. You're like, this never happens.
Great composure from Bosco just to call here. I wouldn't have blamed him for raising because I think Deravianco has a flush a lot in this spot, and you don't want to necessarily see the river kill your action.
Such a bad card for Bosco.
As the 5 of diamonds does. Bosco did the right thing by calling, but as we know, if he had raised the turn, Deravianco probably would have lost his whole stack. Now both players will check, and Bosco has to choose a price that will get paid by what he can only assume is probably some sort of ace and a 10 high flush-ish.
6,000.
I mean, honestly, that's like I wouldn't even mind it.
Maybe like 30,000 or something.
As long as you don't shove. Something very... No, I don't like this.
No, relax.
You need to get called. You have to remember, you need to get called.
Relax. His other problem is that his hand is kind of sort of crazy for face up.
Deravianco doesn't know it, and he's fairly annoyed, but he doesn't know that his tournament's just been saved.
Well, not yet, it hasn't. I keep warning you about this. Okay, now it has.
Don't worry, Nick. I'm okay with this. If Piras calls here, I don't really...
He's not going to call, he's just sad. This is the number one thing you see in live poker, which is sadness.
Nick. Stop predicting things.
He's sad.
He is very sad. He's not as sad as...
It's like, I had 2 pair. I had 2 pair, I remember it. It was just moments ago. I'm sad. Look at him, sad.
Well, he still does have 2 pair.
Yeah, but it's a sad 2 pair. It's a sad 2 pair of tears. Told you, it's sadness.
Yeah. Big blind now is Stevic with Jacks.
Oh, look out. Strap yourselves in. I told you, it's a new table. It's a new dawn for this stream. Action wall to wall for the next 3 hours. That's what we're going to get.
I strapped myself in when I sat down, so...
All in a cool classic race, except for our odds on screen take account of folded cards, so we know that Stevic is a significant favourite here, but the players don't. It's 50-50. Derevienko needs to win this. He's the all-in player.
Ace Queen.
This is the pause for dramatic effect. You're not supposed to be talking. Boom!
Ooh.
Jack on the flop.
There's no club in Derevienko. Oh, the stand-up.
Stand-up, yeah. Now, he should have done it slightly earlier, but he has done it. He needs to put his coat on quickly, I think, here, for it to work. It's probably not going to work now. I don't know what I'd do. Sit down, fall down, or just leave. Unlucky Derevienko. He basically got smashed him out by the deck there. Flush over flush is hard to survive. And then loses a big flip.
And Bosco on the button picks up jacks. Cresting that $500,000 mark.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was over $500,000. That's pretty sweet. Whatever that is.
Ooh. Waris wakes up in the big blind with aces.
Wowris, more like.
Here comes 3-bet. If you are Bosco, I mean, now we will lose Piras. If you are Bosco, the alarm bells will be ringing because out of the big blind.
So talk us through what you do, though. So your alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah.
But you've got pocket jacks. It doesn't look like you've got pocket jacks. You could have anything. You just isolated a limper.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about how to play this?
Well, we call in position and hate our lives and continue with extreme caution. Specifically from the big blind. We got an all-in from Bosco. And a hold.
He'd quite like it to hold.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind holding. Only spades working for Bosco.
Let's see if it holds. Huge pot. Clean flop.
Yeah, hearts covered by Waris as well, so only a jack, which there are 2 remaining of.
This is the biggest pot we've seen on stream, Nick. Nearly $500,000.
Yeah, 477,000 in there. Big, big moment for both these players. Waris on the line. Turn card. Oh!
Oh, that's gross.
The jack of clubs is a dagger to Waris, and now only 1 remaining ace would save him from elimination.
Absolutely brutal stuff.
Bosco.
Pain in the chat. Pain on the table. Waris has done the full bottle, bag and coat manoeuvre.
Hammer blow for Waris as the 5 of spades sees the end, and he is not happy.
And Bedell's lucky that he has missed ace king. By the way, Bedell's only been dealt premiums, basically.
Yeah, he has, but...
now there could be some trouble. See, we asked for action. We got a lot of action.
We can barely finish talking about the previous action before we're at it again. Check on the turn. Bedell finds check back. King on the river. How are you ever losing here? Check again from Bosco. 3 checks. Bedell's going to bet. He should bet large. He's going to believe he has the best hand almost all the time. Bosco's found the sneak attack. Triple check raise with a set.
The only problem for him here is when he raises, it's never a bluff. I mean, Bedell's so strong that he's probably going to have to call. But he knows immediately, you can see from his reaction, he knows immediately there's probably not a bluff, and he also probably has to call. It's so sick.
Wow.
That's such a sick spot. I want to come back, I want to die and come back as Bosco, but just with my hair.
Ooh, aces again. Red aces for Perez Docio. Mammon, though, might fall foul. This
is tricksy.
What an awful spot.
Yeah, horrible. Because obviously he's ahead of range, and he does put his money in. You can't blame him. He doesn't know he's running into aces. Just sucks.
And as you'll be able to see on the screen here, Mammon's only got 14%. Now that's a product of our folded cards that have already been dealt, which means that there aren't 2 9s left in this deck. Probably only has 1 9 available. And
or
then
some running
spades.
cards or spades.
Yeah.
We're back, guys. Just waiting the players, and I don't know what Eastie's doing here. I weren't expecting you. I was expecting Tao. Tao's just having his food because obviously no dinner breaks today, only 15-minute break, so he will be joining us shortly. Thought we'd start with Eastie rather than just myself. Quick something to let you know about. Today's free roll starts at 4:30 GMT, so you have 10 minutes. There's been 6 o'clock all week, so we've actually forgot about it, but today's free roll starts at 6:30 GMT, guys, and the password for that is Glasgow FT. Glasgow FT for our final free roll for our chat box for the event. So we'll get that set up as a command on Twitch. Easty's going to join us for about 5:10, and then we will get on with heads up. So 4:30 GMT, guys. 16:30 GMT, so that will start, as I said, in 10 minutes time. And the command set up, just need to change 5 PM to 4:30. Thank you very much, Lime. The players are coming back. We'll go to a keyword as well, guys, because we need to get those $22 tickets out. How have we got to heads up? And it's not even 4:30 on a Sunday. Lime says, in the client it says 5 PM. Okay, thank you, Lime. On the sheet of paper I got it says 4:30. Thank you very much.
So yeah, lightning speed down to 2 here. We've not even got to the evening yet. It's not even 5 o'clock, and we're down to heads up. And one of them's Dean.
I know.
And Dean's really, really good at this. He's been doing it for a long, long time. And I mean, obviously Dan's still in there. It's interesting because obviously if Dan had been able to make that call, which he clearly would have done, then he would have been the one with a chip lead going heads up. But finding those 9s for Dean gives him a 20 big blind advantage going into these last, well, we don't know, maybe last moments, maybe last few hours.
Yeah.
Who knows? It can go on for a while.
It is so deep, so it's one of these that could potentially last a few. Oh, here we go.
And there will be no deals, guys, so we're playing heads up for the cake. And Dan with a slight deficit, nothing insurmountable, but the opponent is relevant. But whoever wins this, obviously both players have had a hell of a run.
Yeah.
So let's see how this one goes.
They're trying to get it finished before the football starts. Obviously, big game tonight for the Scots playing Greece in the second leg.
Here,
yeah, I know. It's going to be busy out on the town later on a Sunday night. First flopper heads up, King 7-8. So Dan does have the live club. Quick check back from Dean to the ace of spades turn. Maybe going to see some delays coming in on this ace turn card.
Yeah, just pure bottom pretty much here. Does decide to check it back. Maybe just wants to see if he's not getting sandbagged one more time. I mean, in this situation, you know what? If Dan does decide to bluff, Jack High doesn't look absolutely horrendous as a call.
It doesn't.
You have to imagine that Queen High would not bluff.
Yeah.
So Jack High, fairly reasonable.
And like Jack 10, Jack 9 probably doesn't bluff either heads up when it's ace, ace, king board. So. And there's the bet from Dan 180 and Dean not insta-folding as Easty correctly predicted. Jack High here, when we're pretty confident Queen High and better Jack Highs always take their showdown, could potentially throw on the cape here, 180 into 320. So we are looking at just shy of 60% pot.
And it's checked out the big one as well. So just think about all the absolute mountain of offsuit rubbish in the big. Oh, he doesn't know.
Oh, he nearly went for it.
Have we given out the password?
Yeah, we've done that. Jay's done that. Hello, Tower.
Glasgow FT. He's just got. I tell you what, that rump steak looked pretty good. Oh, Jay, I tell you what, that rump steak looks nice that Jay's got.
Yeah, what did you have?
Fantastic. I had a squared sausage. It's my favourite sausage.
It's good, isn't it?
The lawn sausage, the bacon and lawn sausage sandwich.
Yeah.
But it's really weird up here. And I know we go on at Glasgow, not been in Glasgow before. When you go to a proper cafe,
Yeah.
you order a roll and bacon sausage.
Interesting.
In that order.
Yeah. That's not right, is it?
Roll and bacon,
It's
please.
a sausage and bacon roll.
Or a sandwich or whatever it is.
Anyway, heads up.
Yes. Two great players, Dean Lyle on the left, Dan Johnson on the right. And if you want to get into the free roll that's starting at 4:30, sorry about it being a little bit late. So the free roll is at 5 o'clock. The password is Glasgow FT. So there we go, Glasgow FT is the password for the free roll. Get yourself in. Good luck everybody who's going to be playing the free roll. Lime has got it wrote down as a command already. Thank you very much to Lime.
And that's at 5. So, how did the cash go last night? I folded for 3 hours.
No way, did you actually play?
Oh, well, you could argue that I didn't. I was sat there being dealt cards, but I don't believe I played. Certainly didn't feel like it, and there was a lot going on. I wish I could have got involved, but I think I didn't have a card above a 6 for 3 hours. Anyway, another one for Dean on the river there. Goes for the bet with the straight, gets the fold from bottom pair. Dan will not want to get cut adrift here. And Dean opens up the 5-4 suited off of 7 million chips. And Queen 9 suited now for Dan. Very, very playable heads up hand. And just a call. So, any pot can really sway this chip lead. That is not a great flop for either, but Dean with pre-flop aggression will probably just go ahead and stab. Gut shot for Dan. Not a pretty gut shot, it has to be said.
No. The old Queen of Diamonds, Ace, King, Jack, 2 clubs, but we do call.
Yeah, pretty or not pretty, we are going to defend. We'll see a turn, which is a 4 of clubs, which is significantly downgraded us again if we're Dan. Pair of 4s for Dean, but how good does he think a pair of 4s is likely to be here?
If he's telling the story of either the 2 clubs, a King, Queen, a King, obviously King 10, anything like that, then maybe he could have fired again, but he decided to check.
Yeah, and much like the last time we saw, I expect check from Queen High here to shake showdown. And a pair of 4s more than good enough for Dean to tap the tail behind and take this one down.
Like it. Like it. Dean Lyle, 90 bigs. 60 bigs for Dan Johnson. Password for the free roll that's starting at 5 o'clock, Glasgow FT.
So,
Glasgow FT in 30 minutes time, it's going to be beat the Ambassadors. It's going to be try and beat Ian, and you've got a chance against Josh and Easty.
A chance? It's a gimme. It's a dolly up.
11 left in the Dragon. Give you information regarding the Dragon. We had $15, $22 tickets given away on the keywords.
Dan opens up the 10 deuce soft. Dean snap folds. Some nonsense that I didn't quite see. I think it was 8-3 off or something like that. Won't be folding loads. We'll be folding that.
So heads up battle continues. This is the final. And as you saw in the background there, 888 Poker Live. Next up is the wonderful city of Barcelona, 8th till the 18th of May. The Galaxy of Aces are online, winning different prizes. Different tournaments give you different prizes. And tournament tickets, over $300,000 in prizes.
8-4 offsuit for Dan. Takes a look at it and puts the cards in their slots. It's a pretty rubbish hand. Dan not relinquishing it yet though, and is going to call here, Tower. 8-4 off. Queen Jack suited, a much superior hand for Dean, but not anymore as Dan takes the lead with a pair of 8s.
It's 8-3 flop.
Snap check behind from Dean, who has been doing that a little bit. Dan deciding whether he wants to bet just to deny equity from exactly the kind of hand that Dean does end up having here. There's also some Jack 10, King Queen, King Jack, all that stuff that we're ahead of that we don't necessarily want to give free cards to. So here comes Dan with 80k, doing exactly that, and with the 2 overs to the middling card with the Queen high, Dean is going to call and see a river, and that river is a Jack Tower
of hearts.
So does take the lead, and now I imagine Dan will slow down. Will Dean go for value if it checks to him? I can definitely see him doing it. It's not the strongest line from Dan. You'd have to imagine that an ace-X would do something differently at some point. So here comes value from Dino, and it's a chunky value bet. He knows exactly where he is. 350,000, and another horror spot for Dan with just a pair of 8s. We saw him call down earlier with a pair of 8s. This time lets it go.
Nice fold from Dan. Dan Johnson, 60 bigs. Dean Lyle has got 94 big blinds. This could be some super battle. Heads up, 888 Poker Live in Glasgow. First time in Glasgow for the team and a lot of the players, and it has been superb. Password for the free roll that's starting in half an hour's time is Glasgow FT.
What I find interesting is how rapid Dino is playing, and I wonder if that's a strategy or whether he just plays that quickly. Like, does he just want the action back on Dan as soon as possible? Put him under as much pressure.
Yeah.
He knows he's comfortable here. Does he think Dan might not be as comfortable? Who knows? Just something I've picked up. Acting so fast. An ace-9 off.
The championship tournaments online, 16th to 25th. Have you been involved in those?
As of yet, no. I've been here for most of it.
Oh, of course, yes.
But I do plan to get involved for sure.
Yeah, nice one.
So Jack 10 off for Dean, who takes the lead again. And every pot that you lose at this point, when you're Dan, the lead gets incrementally larger, and really not the place you want to be against a player of this caliber. Chasing it, here comes a bet, and it can just feel when you're in this situation and, you know, Dean's playing as well as he is and hitting a few hands, it can feel like there's nothing you can do that works. And this hasn't worked so far either. Ace high, does he want to continue the barrel? Does he want to start checking back? Checks back, and now if this river bricks off, I expect another meaty value bet from Dean, but it is not bricky. And now I expect check. But Dean's got other ideas, it seems, and is going to go for block, trying to squeeze out some value. And squeeze out some value he does not, but now pushing the 100 big blind mark, Tower. And if you're Dan, you just want to win a pot from somewhere.
Have we got one more giveaway, Lime? Yes, we have. What? Here we go.
We're going now.
We could do the rest of the ticket. I tell you what, while you're here,
Okay.
get yourself on your 888 and get your name in.
Okay.
We're going to do it right now. The final giveaway of the day, because we're going to concentrate on the heads up battle. We've no idea when it's going to finish, but it's going to be, this could be 20 minutes, 5 minutes, could be 3 hours. But what we're going to do is going to give you all the tickets remaining for the keyword, and we're going to do the keyword, and then we'll get them out of the way, and then we'll concentrate on the heads up battle, because these two have been superstars. So we'll get the keyword out of the way. So if you are ready, you need to be on 888 Poker TV on Twitch, and the keyword for the remaining tickets, which I've been told there are 7.
Wow.
So we're going to do it and get them out of the way and concentrate on the heads up battle, which is a great idea. So the keyword for the final time on 888 Poker TV on Twitch, which is where you need to be, is heads up.
Heads up.
Which is the battle that's going on right now. Heads up for the keyword. Thanks to Lime.
Well,
Good decision from Lime to give away the tickets right now, because we're going to concentrate on the heads up battle, which is what's going on right now. The final keyword for 7 tickets, and Lime will keep you in touch with that who's won, is heads up. Thanks to that, Lime. Thanks 888. You've been superb yet again with all the tickets.
Tower, I'll tell you something. This heads up quote unquote battle is turning into a bit of a massacre because Dean seemingly has something every time, and Dan's working with napkins and has gone for double barrel, just trying to buy himself something, Tower, keep himself in the game. But 2 pair for Dean here on this flop. Counterfeit on river though. Now Dean will check it over one last time. Can Dan find one last bullet?
Tough to be thinking there's an ace in play here. Got to be tough. There's got to be check back surely.
I mean,
I know we can only win by betting, but
if he's trying to get, he could try to get something like Queen Jack, King Jack, King 10.
This?
Oh, he is going to triple it, you know.
Can we triple this?
This is interesting.
He is.
And this is, I mean, Dean would have been very, very happy on flop and turn. Doesn't look like he's taking too long here, Tower. Just carving out a call, and he's just going to snap it off. And 7 high just goes straight into the muck. Dean doesn't even need to show his hand, and now the gap is 6 million chips, Tower.
The problem was he was playing the board.
That was a big problem. It certainly didn't help.
It did not work, unfortunately.
Someone's finished their rump steak, which means I'm out of here again.
Go and beat the ambassadors, will you?
I am the ambassador.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Eastwood
See
is
you guys.
off to win Beat the Ambassadors.
I'm going to try.
Good luck, young man.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Cheers.
Newcastle?
Yes, I'll be in Newcastle.
Get in.
Absolutely.
See you in
Wouldn't miss it for the
Newcastle
world.
in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Newcastle. Nick Eastwood off to play the Beat the Ambassadors.
Let's get my stuff again. Sorry, Tower.
Get his bag again. Here he comes. He's got this money bag gets bigger.
Be bigger after beating the ambassadors.
Yes, he'll beat everybody. Telling you.
Oh, I'm back, guys. Just getting my food in, obviously.
Nice
No dinner
one.
breaks today.
Nope. Nice bit of rump.
But we're both got full bellies now, so won't be going anywhere, Tower and I, until this is finished.
Get your heads up. You've got about 10 seconds to write in heads up into the chat on 888 Poker TV, because the final 7 tickets are given away, and then what we're going to do is concentrate on this super battle between these two guys. Dan looks like getting chips back in this situation. Turns a jack. Turns the jack.
So I missed like 10 minutes or so, but when I left to go and have my food, it's pretty neck and neck, Tower. But it seems like Dean just been putting a bit of...
Yeah, the triple there from Dan was just a little bit unfortunate. Dean having it all. But we are going to get some chips back here from Dan. Get his composure back, get back up to 3.5 mil. Yes, this should be... Is this bet and done? Or are we going to try and check to see what Dean does? I think this will be bet and done. And indeed it was. Have we tried a fried Mars bar while in Scotland? No, I haven't. And I've not had a pizza crunch either.
Oh.
Which we're going to try.
I'm not the biggest pizza fan, that's the problem.
No, that's true.
I do like a crunchy though.
That's not the same thing.
Oh, is it not?
No. It's a battered pizza.
I like batter.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't
like a fish.
Yeah, no, I don't mind cod and chips.
Well, try pepperoni and meat feast battered. Have we got the winners?
Oh,
we're all doing it. We did 7.
Oh, I've joined you during a giveaway.
We did 7.
Congratulations to
Snick
with a Q.
Well done,
Congratulations to Identificavel.
Well done.
Congratulations to JPod26.
Well done, JPod.
Messiah Poker. Pally Howe. Axel Guy 888. Phil Pot 88. Well done to all our winners, and good luck, Lime, getting all the details for those lot. I know you're excellent at your job, but you've got to message 7 people here now. One of the best is our Lime.
Absolutely.
On Lime 8.
Well done, Lime. And good shout on getting the 7 and concentrating on the heads up. Great shout that. The final 7 done.
Leave a play up. Deciding to bluff it. Queen Jack high going to be good for Dean.
So GK first out on the final table today within 20 minutes. Then Willie Hawkey out in 8th, and one by one they bust out to leave us with 2. All giveaways done. The password for the free roll is Glasgow FT. That starts in 15 minutes.
Ace 10 suited for Dean. Big hand to find heads up. Starts with 2 bigs. Dan can't defend the 8 deuce off.
Absolutely not. There's a big enough out in 7th. Jack Moore 6th. Harry Catanach in 5th. Michael Broadhurst in 4th. And Aru. Well done, one and all. Sevens for Dan. Oh, yeah, still got 40 bigs. Loving the trophy, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's great, isn't it?
The gold 8, I love it. Would you like salt and vinegar on your pizza crunch?
I don't do vinegar.
What do you know?
I do not do vinegar. I can't stand it. Hate the smell of it. Hate the taste of it. Do not do vinegar, me.
I don't think. Do I put salt and vinegar on a pizza crunch? See, it's batty, you see. You don't have fish with salt and vinegar?
Oh.
Wow.
I have it with salt.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the pizza crunch with. No, I don't think I would.
I think I'd like an episode, maybe. I remember being a kid, maybe getting bathed in vinegar or something. Maybe I had something wrong with my head or my scalp, and I just remember the smell of it. I'm not sure. Do you put vinegar in your hair for anything?
If your mum or dad did, I'll tell you what, they didn't really want you around very often. Jeez!
I don't know, I just, like the smell of it just makes me like, ugh. Oh, I don't like it at all. Six on the turn. King high, still good for Dean, but Dan potentially going to start leading here. Fold out some 10 high, queen high, king high stuff. That's not what I have from a Chinese, Mike Leonard. Chicken chow mein, no veg, no bean sprouts, a bit of satay sauce and some chips. That is the go-to Chinese order. Chicken chow mein, no veg, no bean sprouts, chips, satay sauce.
You like Jim McShane. What do you mean? Jim McShane goes for a curry, orders a naan bread and a portion of chips.
Yeah, that's a, with korma sauce, that's a pretty nice order. A little dip in the korma sauce. It's 9 high here for Dan. Looks like going to bluff it. This may get picked off here, Tal. Reason being, Dan doesn't bet ace highs. He doesn't bet worse king highs. So it's a situation that he's either got like a jack and a 6 we hear about on the turn, I think. So he's basically saying he's checked the jack or an 8 twice here. So I feel like Dean will call with just king high. To be fair as Dan, like, we don't really have no ace high value bets, but like I feel like if it was checked to Dean and he had some like ace king, ace queen, these hands could potentially value bet as a high card. But does get the king high out of there. So well done to Dan. Does get it through with the worst of it.
Still got 45 bigs. Still got plenty of play. JPod 26, your whispers are set to private. Please unblock them so we can send you the ticket.
I thought it went check turn. Noodle loop. I will double check. Can just rewind it here.
Cheers, Phil Pot. Well done. Well done, everybody. It has been a great 4 days of live streaming. It really has. Loved every minute of it. Love the casino. Love the location. The 888 tour has been superb. All the staff, all the dealers, all the floor. I don't know if there's a Glasgow phrase that I know.
Oh, thank you.
We just had our stakes and now we got some pies dropped off, and Dean's got kings and Dan's got 6s.
Oh my.
Wow.
Are we too deep?
No, Tower. Like pairs heads up, I always say look at it from a mathematical standpoint. You're 17 to 1 to get dealt a pair. So in a two-handed situation,
oh, he's gone for
there
it.
you go.
Oh man,
there
this
you go.
could be it.
And he hates it. He sees the kings and
This
he
could
is
be it.
in huge trouble.
Wow.
But like 17 to 1 to get dealt a pair. So for both players to have a pair, you're looking at 289 to 1. Like, it doesn't happen very often, heads up. It's very rare that both players have a pair. So Dan just sends the 6s in, and Dean finds the Cowboys.
Get that
Here
t-shirt out of the
we
way on the left-hand side.
Go.
This could be it for championship. We need a 6. This could be it. Dean Lyles could be getting another trophy after all these years.
No backdoor diamonds
Nope,
for the chop.
not
So
at all.
fade in 2 6s, and we have a champion.
Do we have a champion? Yes,
Oh,
we
yes,
do.
we do.
Yes, good lad. Oh, 93 players left. Nailed it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll never let anybody forget it, ever.
Even a blind squirrel, Tower. Even a blind squirrel.
What?
That's the first one you've had, I think, in 7 years. Day 2 pick.
I would love Dean Lyle to run really well, and at least final table was the first words on stream on day 2.
I would have gave you 100 to 1 for that. You know that. If you just asked me for a price, I would have gave you 100 to 1.
I had a tenner.
Yeah, all right. You put in a tenner on a bet.
Mick Tower had a tenner. We went to McBookies. We had Mick Tower getting Mick tenner on my what?
Well, Mook Tower better go to the field
Off.
because we are going to be doing some interviews and a trophy presentation. Commiserations to Dan. Fantastic run for him. He takes home £42,940. But it's Dean Lyle that Tower called out yesterday at the start of day 2. 93 players left, said, I fancy Dean for this one. And it is Dean taking it home, £58,130. What's happened today, guys? How are we done? I cannot recall in my 8 years of doing this a finish before 5 p.m. on a Sunday. It has been ruthless. Bust out after bust out. Just always the covering stack seems to win in the all-ins. But we are done. Big thank you to everyone. We're going to come back and finish in the booth anyway, but I'll say the thank yous now. Obviously, all the floor staff, the dealers, the valet. It's been so welcoming here in Glasgow since we arrived. Lime in the chat box, moderating effortlessly for the last 5 days, and all you guys in the chat box that make our job much easier, chatting with us, interacting with us, and keeping it fun. So we will be heading to the floor shortly, so stay tuned if you want to hear the interviews and see the trophy presentation. So the tower is there, he's made his way. We should be grabbing the runner-up first, Dan, who took home £42,940. And here he comes to the floor.
Johnson, I thought you could only deal.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll review it and see that I can only deal. So.
No. You will play some good stuff.
Thank you.
Nice to get you back down at the tables playing. What's it like for you to play the game?
It's great fun. The past 3 days have been amazing. Yeah, it's really fun. When it's going well, it's great, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Not too many results at the minute, but
no.
Fingers crossed we're going to see a lot more of you.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see a few stops in the future for sure. Yeah.
I had one of your good friends in the comms as well.
I'm sure he was bashing me.
No.
Oh, that's bad. Don't do that.
No, you'll review it. You'll see it. You've got all your family watching and everything like that. And DD very, very proud and very, very accommodating of how you played.
Yeah.
The whole week itself, has it been?
It's been great. Yeah, bricked the first tournament, but then just been in this ever since, and it's been going well. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. You had a lot of chips coming in.
Yeah.
What was the plan this morning? Was it we got a chip lead?
Heads up. But then that happened, and then just come in, take each hand by each hand, and just if I come sixth, it's fine.
Yeah.
I was happy with this, just getting to the final table. So. Coming second, I'm very happy.
We've loved watching you play.
Thank you very much.
Really enjoyed it, Dan. Superb effort. Second out of 407. Fantastic effort, buddy. Brilliant. Mr. Dan Johnson, second. But where is Mr. Dean Lyle? I did say if we'd win it, there'd be a smile on the face. And there is.
Yeah.
There is. 3 results before 2008, 2014. We've now got another trophy. How does it feel?
Good, yeah. It's about time I won one. I mean, I just had loads of good cards. And that's all there is to say, really.
Yeah. So 5 or 6 years ago, heads up for a bracelet, but and that was a fantastic result for yourself. But for us to see you back at the tables, and I've said it a few times this year, it's great to see you back because you can play the game, man.
Thank you.
Honestly, you really can, and you've got all the.
It's been good being back. I think the tournaments are well run, and the staff are great. And, thanks for everything.
Excellent. It's been super, and we're going to get Keno with the trophy. So I'll just get out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have a massive round of applause for the champion of the 888 Poker Live Glasgow, Mr. Dean Lyle. He has got another trophy. Well done to him. Well done to Keno. Well done to all the staff. 888 Poker Live champion, Mr. Dean Lyle. Jay, please finish us off.
And that is us for Glasgow, guys. We are finished. Great interviews from both then. You got me to wear the hat at the start of the event. I might as well put it on for the end of the event too.
Hurry here! Hi! Hurry here! Hurry here! See what I'm here!
I didn't get a word of that, Tower. All I heard was Roundabout.
All I heard was, what a super event.
Unbelievable. I done the roundup while you was heading up for the interviews, done all the thank yous. I'm sure you have a little bit to add.
It's been, honestly, from start to finish, loved every minute of it. Another new stop, as you said earlier, another new stop and another great place. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Portsmouth, new, fantastic. Glasgow, new, absolutely fantastic. Loved every minute. 888ers, really accommodation as well. It's been a great week for everybody. Do not forget the password for the free roll that hasn't started yet, and we finished.
Unbelievable.
The password is Glasgow FT. Please get into the free roll. Enjoy the free roll. Thanks to Lime, you've been unbelievable. Absolutely, from start to finish.
You've been amazing and given all the tickets away as well. We did 7 just in time.
Yep.
Woo!
Just in time.
We did 7 just in time. The next stop of the UKPL is going to be the 1st till the 6th of April. We are going to be... What do we wear in Newcastle?
I guess we wear a barcode top.
A what?
Like the Newcastle kit.
Oh, yeah, I can see you in the Newcastle
I wouldn't
kit.
be. I wouldn't be wearing it, but I'm guessing that's the attire up there. They're pretty big on their football, the Geordies, right? Well, I can't think of anything from Newcastle.
We've come dressed for the occasion this time. So what do we do in Newcastle?
I guess...
What do we do in Reading?
I'll tell you what we do.
Go on.
We wear a T-shirt, whatever the weather, because I swear when you go out on a night out on Saturday in the middle of winter in Newcastle, everyone's in T-shirts. They don't own coats up there, so
They're from up north.
yeah, they're from up north.
They're from
that's
proper
probably
up
why.
north. We'll keep these for Edinburgh. It has been amazing. Really, really enjoyed it. Thanks for everybody in the background, all the 888 staff, Keno, Sapir, everybody else. But final mention for the Glasgow FT on the password for the free roll that hasn't started yet. It will start in 5 minutes' time, but it is just about to start. Amazing. We called it Dean Lyle. He's got himself another trophy after all these years. It's 11 years since his last trophy.
Oh, is it that long?
Which is unbelievable. I know he was heads up for a bracelet in 2018, but it has been unbelievable. It has been unbelievable. But well done to Dean. He's just started coming back, playing a lot more than he has in previous years. So well done to Dean. It has been superb. Thanks to all the staff behind the scenes, PK, Mikey, Dave, and this guy knows his stuff. He really, really does. And me, you know me, we just have a good time.
Dresses
and
up.
apparently, I get paid for chatting to mates.
You do. You do. I'm still not having that, and I will be mentioning that lots over the next few streams. So.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks, Lime, Chatbox. You've been superb. We will see you in 2 weeks' time in Newcastle for the 888 UKPL. Looking forward to that. 560 buy-in that starts for us on the 2nd of April, which starts a few days before that when you get there. So really enjoy it. Thanks for an amazing stream. Loved every minute of it. And from McTower and McArwood, we will see you at the next one. 888 live winner in Glasgow, Mr. Dean Lyle. From the team, ta-ta.
Good night.